Hello guys, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto find out his parents are alive and abandoned him? If you enjoy this what if, then please like, share and do comment and also check out our Patreon page. So let's start the story.
Chapter 1. The name Sasuke Uchiha didn't just echo in Naruto's mind, it lingered like something bitter, something he couldn't wash away no matter how hard he tried. Naruto stood alone beneath the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, his fists buried deep inside his pockets. The village bustled around him, unaware, uncaring. It always had been, always about Sasuke, always. A hollow laugh almost escaped him, but it died before it could form. Recognition, praise, respect. Those were things Naruto had chased his entire life, bled for, fought for, endured for. And yet, whenever the dust settled, whenever the story was told, it was never his name they remembered. His jaw tightened. How many times the memories clawed at him. The land of waves. The terror in the villagers' eyes, the way they had trembled under oppression until he stood up, until he gave them courage. He remembered the cold, the biting air, the blood that soaked into his skin as he fought with everything he had. And yet, the hero they spoke of wasn't him, it never was. Naruto exhaled slowly, forcing the thoughts down. That wasn't today. Today was supposed to be different. Today was supposed to be perfect. Just hours earlier, the world had felt brighter, warmer, alive. Naruto had walked through the market with a rare lightness in his steps, the kind that felt unfamiliar but welcome. Vendors who once ignored him now glanced his way with cautious neutrality, some even nodded, not kindness, but not hatred either. It was enough, because none of that mattered anymore. Hinata did her quiet strength, the way she looked at him, not as a weapon, not as a burden, but as someone worth loving, and today. He closed his eyes briefly, recalling her trembling voice, the way her hands had rested over her stomach. A child, their child. Naruto's chest tightened, but not from pain, not this time, from something dangerously close to hope. "I'll be better," he had whispered to himself earlier, gripping the small box of wedding decorations. Better than them, better than anyone. Because he knew what it felt like to be abandoned, to be forgotten. His thoughts darkened, unbidden. Minato Namikaze, Kushina Uzumaki, names spoken with reverence by the entire village. Names that meant nothing to him, not anymore. They had lived, they had chosen to live. And still they had left him behind, replaced him. Menma, the true son, the heir. Naruto's nails dug into his palms. He remembered the looks, the shift in people's eyes when the truth surfaced. Not sympathy, relief. The demon had a leash now. That was all he had ever been to them. A tool, a mistake, something disposable. "No," Naruto muttered under his breath, shaking his head as if to physically throw the thoughts away. Not today. Today was about Hinata, about the future, about something real. The house stood quietly at the edge of the village, modest but undeniably his. It wasn't given to him. It wasn't charity. He had taken it, outsmarted a system that never intended to give him anything. For once, something in his life belonged to him. Naruto approached the door with a small, almost shy smile. In his hand, a single rose, simple but chosen carefully. "She'll like it," he murmured. Silently, he slipped inside. The air felt still, too still. Naruto paused. Something was off. His senses sharpened instantly, years of instinct snapping into place. His body moved without thought, chakra subtly wrapping around him to mute his presence. Then, a sound, soft, unfamiliar. His heart skipped. Hinata. He moved faster now, each step careful, controlled. The sound echoed faintly from upstairs, from the one place he never expected danger to reach. Their room. His grip tightened around the kana he hadn't even realized he had drawn. Worst-case scenarios flooded his mind. An intruder, an attack, blood. Naruto reached the door. And then, he froze. The sound became clearer, not pain, not fear, something else, something that made his entire body go cold. His hand trembled as it rested on the door. No. Slowly, carefully, he pushed it open, just enough to see, just enough to understand, and in that moment, the world didn't shatter, it stopped. Everything, every sound, every breath, every flicker of movement ceased to exist, because inside that room, Naruto saw the one person he had trusted with everything, and the one person he had always despised. Standing far closer than they ever should have been, too close, close enough to destroy something that Naruto had spent his entire life trying to build. The rose slipped from his fingers, silently, unnoticed. His blue eyes, once filled with warmth, with stubborn hope, emptied, not of emotion, but of something far worse, belief. And as the door creaked ever so slightly, Sasuke's head turned, their eyes met, and for the first time since the day he was born, Naruto Uzumaki felt something inside him finally break. Sasuke's voice cut through the stillness, low, strained, careless. Naruto didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't exist. Each word felt like it was being carved into his skull, slow and deliberate. When are you going to leave him and come to me? Naruto's fingers twitched at his side, but the rest of him remained frozen, trapped in that moment, forced to listen. Then came the next words, casual, cruel, unforgivable. You're carrying my child. Oh, for a second. Just 1 second. Naruto's mind rejected reality. No, it wasn't denial, it was something deeper, something instinctual, like his soul itself refused to accept what his ears had just heard. But the silence that followed, the lack of protest, the absence of correction. It told him everything, his vision blurred, not from tears, from something darker, something colder. Fragments of memory surged violently to the surface, Hinata's soft smile, her trembling confession, the warmth in her eyes when she told him. You're going to be a father. His stomach twisted, that moment once sacred, now rotted from the inside out. A lie, all of it, a carefully constructed lie. Naruto's breathing grew shallow, uneven, but he didn't make a sound. He could. If he did, whatever remained of him might shatter beyond repair. Inside the room, Hinata's voice, soft, breathless, reached him again. Not the voice he knew, not the girl who stuttered when she spoke his name. This voice was different, calculated, detached. I'm waiting until everything is secured, she murmured. There's too much at stake to rush. Naruto's nails dug into his palm, drawing blood. Secured. What are you planning? Sasuke asked, irritation laced beneath his tone. A pause, then. His inheritance. Naruto's heart stopped, everything inside him went still. The Uzumaki, the Namikaze, everything tied to him, Hinata continued quietly. Once it's in my hands, there won't be anything left binding me to him. A faint, humorless smile twitched at Naruto's lips. So that's what he was, not a person, not a partner, an opportunity, a stepping stone, even now, even after everything. He was still just something to be used. And what about him? Sasuke asked. Naruto leaned slightly closer to the door without realizing it. He didn't want to hear the answer, but he needed to. He won't matter, Hinata replied simply. No hesitation, no remorse, no guilt, just certainty. Naruto's eyes dimmed completely. Inside, something fragile, something he had protected for years despite everything, finally gave way. And when it broke, it didn't make a sound. The door closed as quietly as it had opened. Neither of them noticed, neither of them cared. Naruto stood there for a moment longer, staring at nothing. Then he turned and walked away. The night air hit him like a blade, but he barely felt it. His steps were steady, too steady. There was no rush, no panic, no anger, just emptiness. The house behind him, his house, faded into the distance. Every memory tied to it, gone. Every hope he had built there, meaningless. Naruto didn't look back. He couldn't, because if he did, he might remember what it was supposed to be, and he refused to feel that again. By the time he reached the outskirts of the village, the silence inside him began to crack, not violently, not all at once, but slowly, like pressure building beneath the surface. His feet carried him without direction, instinct guiding him to a place buried deep within his past, a place no one else knew, a place where the world couldn't reach him. A place where he had once hidden as a child, battered and alone. The forest welcomed him with darkness, with stillness, with indifference, and finally, Naruto stopped, his legs gave out. He collapsed onto the cold ground, hands digging into the dirt as his body trembled. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a sound escaped him, raw, broken, ugly. Tears followed, uncontrolled, relentless. Everything he had held back, years of pain, rejection, loneliness, it all surged forward at once. Why? His voice cracked, barely audible. Why is it always like this? No answer came, there never was one, because the truth was simple. Naruto Uzumaki was never meant to be loved. He was meant to be endured, used, discarded. And no, even the one person who had made him believe otherwise had proven that truth. Time passed, minutes, hours, he didn't know, didn't care. Eventually the tears stopped, not because the pain faded, but because there was nothing left to give. Naruto slowly lifted his head. His expression had changed, not hardened, not enraged, just empty, cold, clear, and in that clarity, everything began to make sense. The whispers, the manipulation, the sudden reappearance of people who once abandoned him, the shift in how the village treated him, the timing of everything. It wasn't coincidence, it was a plan, a long one, a careful one, and he had been at the center of it the entire time. Naruto let out a slow breath. They were never going to let me live freely. The realization didn't hurt, not anymore, because pain required something he no longer had, hope. They'll try to control me. Seal him, bind him, turn him into exactly what they always saw him as. A weapon. Naruto's fingers tightened into fists, but not anymore. Silence fell again, but this time it was different, not suffocating, not empty, it was decisive. Naruto stood slowly, deliberately. His blue eyes, once bright, once filled with stubborn fire, now held something far more dangerous. Understanding if they wanted to play this game. If they had spent years weaving a cage around him, then he would do what he had always done: survive, adapt, escape, and this time he wouldn't come back. A thought surfaced, sharp, precise, power. Not his, not theirs, someone beyond their reach. Naruto's gaze shifted toward the distant horizon. There were forces in this world that even Konoha couldn't touch, people whose authority could not be challenged without consequence. And Naruto had already crossed paths with one. A memory flickered, a mission, a life saved, a debt that had never been repaid. For once, Sasuke hadn't been there to steal the moment. For once, the truth had remained his. Naruto exhaled, slow, controlled. I know where to go. Behind him, far in the distance, Konoha slept peacefully, unaware, unprepared, because by the time they realized what had happened, Naruto Uzumaki would already be gone. And when they finally came looking for him, they wouldn't be chasing a broken boy anymore. They would be chasing something else entirely, something they had created, something they could no longer control. Sasuke. The name didn't echo this time, it burned. Naruto's teeth clenched so hard that a sharp crack rang inside his skull, but he didn't ease the pressure. He welcomed it. Pain was something he understood. Pain was honest, unlike everything else in his life. Sasuke, he whispered again, but now the name carried something heavier, something lethal. There was no shouting, no wild outburst. Just a quiet promise, one that didn't need to be spoken aloud. The forest around him seemed to darken as his thoughts spiraled inward, dragging long-buried memories to the surface. Memories he had spent years desperately trying to bury beneath forced smiles and loud laughter. But now there was nothing left to protect. The truth clawed its way out. The free meals that had once made him feel special, those bowls of ramen labeled as Naruto's favorite, he could still remember the taste, bitter, wrong. He had laughed back then, pretending not to notice, pretending not to care. But now he understood. They hadn't been feeding him, they had been testing him. Poison filtered out by the monster inside him, a child used as a living shield against their own cruelty. Naruto's hands trembled. Not from weakness, from restraint. Then came the academy, the laughter, the whispers, the fake smiles. He had thought, hoped that maybe, just maybe, some of them saw him as more than what the village said he was. But the truth was uglier. They told us not to get too close to him. He's dangerous. Just play along. Voices overlapped in his mind, distorted but unmistakable. Orders, not friendship, a performance. And he had believed it. Naruto let out a low, hollow breath. Pathetic. And then, the old man, Hiruzen Sarutobi. The one who had looked at him with gentle eyes, who had spoken words of comfort, who had promised, "They will accept you one day." Naruto's expression darkened, the same words every time, unchanging, scripted, like a lullaby meant to keep him quiet, not to help him, but to keep him contained. He knew, Naruto murmured. Of course he knew. He had always known, and he had done nothing, and now. Hinata, the final illusion, shattered. Naruto's breathing slowed, steady, controlled. Too controlled, all the pain, all the betrayal, all the years of suffering. They didn't explode, they condensed, compressed into something far more dangerous, something silent, something cold. I'm done. The words fell into the darkness like a verdict, no hesitation, no doubt. I'm done being their puppet. For years he had endured, for years he had hoped, for years he had begged the world to acknowledge him, and for what? To be used, discarded, replaced, lied to. Naruto's eyes lifted toward the night sky, empty, endless, unforgiving. They called me a demon. A faint, humorless smile touched his lips. Then I'll become one. The decision didn't feel heavy, it felt liberating for the first time in his life. Naruto Uzumaki wasn't reacting, he was choosing. I'll destroy it. Not shouted, not whispered, stated like a fact. This village, this system, all of it. His gaze hardened. And I'll start with you, Sasuke. Naruto turned, walking deeper into the shadows until he reached a hidden cache buried beneath the roots of an old tree. Supplies, scrolls, weapons, contingencies, things he had gathered over the years, not out of paranoia, but instinct, as if some part of him had always known this day would come. He pulled out a blank scroll, sat down, and began to write, each stroke of ink deliberate, measured, final, not a rant, not a cry for attention, a message, a warning, a declaration of war. When he finished, he stared at the words for a long moment, then rolled the scroll shut. I'll be back. His voice was quieter now, but far more dangerous than before, and when I return, a pause, a breath, Konoha will burn. But before that, there was one loose end, one risk he couldn't ignore. Naruto's eyes narrowed slightly. Jiraiya. The man who had bound him to the toads, a connection, a leash. If Naruto disappeared, there was a chance he could be dragged back. That wouldn't happen. Not now, not ever again. It didn't take long to find him. Jiraiya was exactly where Naruto expected, lost in his usual distractions, unaware that the world around him was about to change. Naruto approached without hiding his presence, for once. He didn't care, oi, old man. Jiraiya turned surprised. Kid, what are you? Naruto didn't let him finish. His words were sharp, calculated, each one designed to provoke. To cut, to push, not reckless, intentional. He needed a reaction, and he got it. Anger flashed across Jiraiya's face, disappointment, frustration. You've got a lot of nerve talking like that, Jiraiya snapped. You think you're ready for power, you're not even worthy of what you already have. Naruto held his gaze, unflinching, silent. That silence only fueled the fire. Maybe I was wrong about you, Jiraiya muttered, shaking his head. Naruto didn't respond. He didn't need to, because seconds later, the contract was gone, severed. Naruto turned his back without a word. Mission accomplished. No chains left. Night fell completely. Konoha slept, peaceful, ignorant. Naruto stood at the edge of the village, looking at it one last time. No attachment, no hesitation, just distance. I won't come back as the same person. A beat, I won't come back as a person at all. He moved, silent, efficient, a shadow among shadows, until he found his target, a lone shinobi on patrol, too relaxed, too confident. Naruto observed him for a moment, then stepped forward, fast, precise, final. The strike was clean, no struggle, no noise. The body collapsed before it even understood what had happened. Naruto didn't pause, didn't look down, didn't feel anything. Moments later, a message was left behind, a symbol, something that would be discovered, something that would spread fear, something that would force them to understand. Naruto Uzumaki was gone. At the memorial stone, the wind stirred softly, almost like a whisper, almost like a warning, but no one was there to hear it. Far beyond the village gates, Naruto walked into the darkness, alone, unchained, unforgiving, and somewhere deep within that darkness, something ancient stirred, not the fox, something else, something that had been waiting, watching, for the moment Naruto Uzumaki would finally abandon everything and step into a path that would change not just his world, but others beyond it. The night did not end, it shifted. Naruto had barely crossed the final boundary of Konoha when the air itself seemed to tighten around him, not physically, not something he could see, but something he felt, a pressure, subtle, wrong. His steps slowed. For a brief moment he glanced back, not at the village, but at the sky above it, dark, silent, watching. What now? Naruto muttered under his breath. No answer came, but somewhere far beyond his understanding, something had already begun, not in his world, not in any place he had ever known, but in a realm fractured by war, by greed, by ambition so vast it had swallowed entire star systems whole. There had once been a place called Harmony, a world built on resilience, on defiance, on the stubborn refusal of humanity to bow even when abandoned, even when hunted. They had fought, they had bled, they had survived, until the day they didn't, the sky had burned. A weapon cold, precise, merciless, had fallen from the heavens like judgment itself. It did not roar, it did not hesitate, it simply erased, and in a single, blinding instant, an entire world vanished, not destroyed, not reduced to ash, but torn away, dragged into something unknown. Something unstable, something dying. Panic followed, confusion, desperation, because survival had come at a cost. The world they stood on was unraveling, slowly, inevitably. A death sentence stretched across years instead of seconds. 10 years, that was all they had. 10 years to outrun extinction itself. And so they built, not out of hope but necessity, a vessel, massive, desperate, carrying everything they had left: people, knowledge, weapons, memories. A second chance carved from the ruins of their first. They named it Harmony, not as it was, but as it had been. But fate was not done with them. It never was. The day the planet died, the day their old home finally gave in. The vessel escaped, barely. A fragment of a dying world struck them as they fled, tearing into their systems, crippling what little stability they had left. Power failed, systems flickered, life support faltered, and suddenly, Survival wasn't guaranteed anymore. They searched frantically for anything, any world, any chance, and they found one. A planet, cold, unfamiliar, alive. With what little energy remained, they made a choice. One pilot, one titan, one chance. His name was Jack Cooper. He didn't hesitate. He couldn't afford to. Lives, thousands, millions, rested on what he did next. He descended alone, through storm, through chaos, through a sky that did not welcome him. The landing was rough, but survivable. Barely, the world fought him immediately, not with enemies, but with itself. The energy in the atmosphere, unstable, unnatural, began interfering with his systems almost instantly. His Titan, BT 7274, started failing, power drained faster than it should, faster than it could. Jack gritted his teeth. Hold it together, BT. The machine responded, voice steady despite the failing systems. Power reserves critically low. Of course they were. Nothing was ever easy. He dragged the Titan into a nearby cave, shielding it from the worst of the storm. It wasn't much, but it bought him time, a little, just enough. I'll find a spot, Jack muttered, checking his gear. Just hold on. No response, not this time. The storm howled louder as he stepped outside. The world didn't feel right, not just hostile, not just dangerous. Wrong, like it didn't belong. Like it existed where it shouldn't, still. He moved because stopping wasn't an option. Minutes passed, then more, the cold bit deeper. The wind screamed louder, and then the ground shifted. Jack barely had time to react. A low rumble, a fracture, and suddenly the mountain came down. Snow, stone, weight, darkness, everything vanished. When Jack opened his eyes again, there was nothing, no sky, no light, just pressure, crushing, endless. He tried to move, couldn't. His arms were pinned, his legs trapped. Every breath felt like dragging knives into his lungs. Damn it. His voice came out weak, fading. Comms were dead, signals lost. No one knew where he was. No one was coming, for the first time. Jack Cooper understood. This was it, not in battle, not in glory. Not surrounded by allies, but buried, forgotten. A bitter laugh escaped him. Figures. He activated his helmet recorder, if nothing else. His story wouldn't die with him. My name is Jack Cooper. Each word slower than the last, measured, heavy. I was sent to save them. A pause, a breath, I failed. Above him, the storm raged on, uncaring, unstoppable. I'm sorry, BT. Silence answered him, and then nothing. Time passed, not in minutes, not in hours, but in years. The world changed, shifted, forgot. The snow buried everything. The storm erased all traces. The cave collapsed further, sealing what remained beneath layers of ice and stone. Jack Cooper's body faded, dust to dust, but not everything was lost. His helmet remained, intact, dormant, waiting. 30 years passed. And deep beneath the frozen mountain, something stirred, not alive, not conscious, but reacting, because far away, in another world, a boy named Naruto Uzumaki had just stepped into the darkness, and something about that choice, that shift, resonated across dimensions, across time, across realities. A faint pulse flickered through the buried helmet, once, then again. Systems that should have long since died awakened, and somewhere in the void between worlds, two broken destinies began to move toward each other. Unaware, unstoppable, the pulse did not fade, it grew. Far beneath frozen earth, buried under decades of silence, the helmet awakened, not fully, not yet, but enough. Enough to answer something it did not understand. And then the world changed. Snow that had ruled the land for generations began to melt, not slowly, not naturally, but violently, as if something unseen had reached down and stripped winter away by force. Ice cracked, rivers surged, frozen plains softened into soil, for the first time in living memory. Spring touched a land that had forgotten its existence, and in another part of the world, Naruto Uzumaki walked forward, unaware that something impossible had just begun. Konoha, the day after. Morning came like it always did, peaceful, deceptive. Kakashi Headache moved through the village with his usual lazy stride, hands buried in his pockets, his visible eye half-lidded as if nothing in the world could truly disturb him. But beneath that mask, his thoughts were anything but calm. Sasuke, the future of the Uchiha. The only one that mattered. Kakashi's lips curved faintly beneath his mask. A child, at last. The clan would not die with him. A new beginning, a stronger future, and the mother, irrelevant, a tool like everything else in this village. Naruto's name didn't even cross his mind with weight anymore, not as a person, not as a student, but as a responsibility. A weapon, one he had been assigned to monitor, one he never truly cared to understand. Kakashi exhaled quietly. Everything's falling into place. He turned toward the memorial stone, footsteps slowing as he approached the place he visited every day. A ritual, a habit, a reminder, but today. Something was wrong, he smelled it first. Iron, rot, death. Kakashi stopped, his body tensed, his instincts screamed. And then he saw it. The world tilted, a severed head rested atop the memorial stone, its expression twisted in frozen terror, eyes wide, mouth forced open. A scroll jammed deep within, for a moment. Kakashi didn't react, didn't think, didn't breathe. Then his stomach turned violently. He staggered back, ripping his mask aside as bile burned up his throat. The sound of it echoed in the quiet morning, raw, ugly, real. What the hell, he rasped, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand, even for a shinobi. Even for someone who had seen war. This was different, this wasn't battle, this wasn't necessity, this was a message. Slowly. Carefully. Kakashi stepped forward again. He reached out, removed the head, pulled the scroll free. His hand trembled just slightly as he unrolled it. 4 words. That was all, and yet. They felt heavier than anything he had ever read. Kakashi's single visible eye widened. No. Without another second wasted. He vanished the Hawkage Tower. Minato Namikaze already felt it, that unease, that creeping sense that something had gone wrong. Paperwork lay forgotten on his desk, his mind elsewhere, sharp, restless. Then the window burst open. Kakashi. Minato's irritation surfaced instantly, but it died just as fast when he saw his student's face. Pale, tense, wrong. What happened? No jokes, no excuses. Kakashi stepped forward silently and handed him the scroll. Minato read it once. His expression didn't change immediately, but the air around him did. It dropped, cold, heavy, suffocating. Where? His voice was low, controlled, dangerous. The memorial stone, Kakashi replied, inside a shinobi's mouth. Silence then. Killing intent flooded the room, explosive, violent, unrestrained. Minato's hand tightened around the scroll. He wouldn't. But even as he said it, he knew something had broken. Years of planning, years of control, years of carefully shaping a weapon. Gone, explain, Minato ordered. Kakashi hesitated only for a second. Sasuke told me, he said quietly. Hinata is carrying his child. The silence that followed was absolute then. You're telling me, Minato said slowly, that he found out. Not a question, a realization, the plan. Destroyed, Minato's expression hardened. Call them. A sharp motion of his hand, AMBU appeared instantly, silent, deadly, awaiting orders. Hunt him down, Minato commanded, his voice devoid of hesitation. Bring him back alive. A pause, cold eyes narrowing. If he resists, break him. The ANBU vanished, but it didn't matter, because Naruto Uzumaki was already gone, far from Konoha. The ocean had been merciless, the journey worse. Naruto endured, because that's what he had always done. Days blurred, hunger came and went, sleep was shallow, uneasy, but he survived, and eventually he arrived, a land unfamiliar, a land distant enough that Konoha's reach would struggle to find him. Yet even here, nothing was simple. Days passed, 5, then more, no direction, no guidance, just instinct and frustration. Damn it. Naruto wiped sweat from his brow, scanning the endless fields stretching before him. Beautiful, endless. Useless. Night began to fall, clouds gathered, rain threatened. He spotted shelter. A lone rock formation rising from the earth like a silent guardian. It would do. The camp came together quickly. Fire, food, routine, for the first time in days. Naruto allowed himself to sit, to breathe, to exist. The field around him swayed with flowers, colors dancing beneath the dim light. For a brief moment, he noticed it, the beauty, the calm. Heh. A hollow sound escaped him, too late for that now. He reached for his food. And then froze something beneath him, cold, solid metal. Naruto frowned. Slowly he stood, pulled back the ground, dug. His fingers closed around something unfamiliar. Heavy, smooth, alien. He pulled it free. A helmet, not like anything he had ever seen. Not crafted like shinobi gear, not forged like anything from his world. Strange lines, unnatural design, a visor shaped in patterns that made no sense. Naruto turned it over in his hands, studying it carefully. What the hell is this? Then the visor lit up blue, sharp, alive. Naruto's eyes widened. and he dropped it instantly. The helmet hit the ground with a dull thud, but the light didn't fade instead. It pulsed once, twice, and then a voice emerged, cracked, broken, mechanical, yet undeniably present. Pilot. Naruto froze, identification required. The wind stilled, the fire flickered, the world held its breath, and standing there, staring at something that should not exist. Naruto Uzumaki felt it again, that shift, that pull, that sense that his path had just crossed into something far beyond anything he had ever known.
Everything Naruto believed in shattered in a single light. Betrayed by the one he loved, hunted by the village he protected, he chose to walk away not as a hero, but as something far more dangerous. But just when he thought his story was over, something impossible answered him. A voice from another world, a forgotten relic, calling him pilot. So now the question is, what happens when a broken shinobi connects with a power beyond his reality? And more importantly, is Naruto still running, or has he just stepped into something far worse?
Chapter 2. Naruto didn't move. For a long moment, he simply sat there on the cold ground, breath uneven, eyes locked onto the helmet lying a few feet away from him. It had spoken, not imagined, not a trick of exhaustion. It had spoken. Yeah, that's not normal, he muttered under his breath, voice low, guarded. In the shinobi world, objects didn't just talk, not without reason, not without consequence. Cursed tools, forbidden artifacts, things sealed away for a reason. Naruto's gaze hardened. If this was one of those, then picking it up again would be stupid, reckless, dangerous, so why was he reaching for it? His fingers curled around the cold metal once more. The surface was smooth, unfamiliar. Nothing like the crude tools or refined weapons of his world. This wasn't forged by chakra, this was something else entirely. The visor still glowed faintly, those strange hexagonal patterns pulsing like a heartbeat. Alive, watching, waiting. Naruto hesitated for only a second, then, whatever. And he lifted it, he inspected the inside briefly. No seals, no inscriptions, no chakra signatures, nothing, which somehow made it worse. Naruto exhaled slowly. Either I'm about to die. A pause, or this is gonna be interesting. And then, he put it on, nothing exploded. No surge of chakra, no curse wrapping around his body, no immediate threat, but then, a voice clear, direct, inside his mind, to whoever finds this helmet. Naruto froze. His body went rigid as the voice continued, calm, distant, already touched by death. My name is Jack Cooper. I am a pilot aligned with the militia. Naruto's eyes narrowed beneath the helmet. Pilot, militia. The words meant nothing to him, and yet. The tone did. A soldier, a man who had already accepted the end. By the time you hear this, I am already gone. Silence filled the space around Naruto. The fire crackled beside him, but inside his mind, there was only the voice. We are not here to conquer your world. Naruto's brow furrowed. Your world, our ship is failing, power systems critically damaged. We were forced to land here, searching for a way to survive. Oh. Fragments of imagery flickered faintly across Naruto's vision. Massive structures, unfamiliar skies, machines beyond comprehension. He flinched slightly. What the hell? I was sent alone with my Titan to find a solution. The word Titan echoed strangely, heavy, important, but I failed. That word. Naruto felt it, deep, personal, too familiar. If anyone finds this, I ask only one thing. The voice weakened, fading, but still determined. Find BT. A pause makes sure he's still functioning. The final words cracked, not from fear, but from regret. I'm sorry, BT. Silence. Naruto slowly removed the helmet. His breathing was heavier now, not from fear, but from something else, something he hadn't expected. He died alone. Oh. The words left his mouth before he could stop them, buried, trapped, knowing he failed the people counting on him. Naruto looked down at the helmet in his hands. Yeah, I get that. For a moment he considered ignoring it, walking away. This wasn't his world, not his problem, not his responsibility. But then, he remembered being alone, being abandoned, being nothing more than something people expected to fail. Naruto clicked his tongue softly. Damn it. He stood, placed the helmet back on. All right, Jack Cooper. His voice was quieter now, more grounded. I'll check on your friend. The helmet responded instantly. A soft beep echoed in his ears, then another, directional, guiding. Naruto blinked. Seriously. The sound shifted slightly as he turned his head. Clearer. Stronger, you've gotta be kidding me. A faint smirk appeared on his lips, the first real one since he left Konoha. Guess I'm doing this. And with that, Naruto stepped forward into the unknown, several hours later. The night stretched endlessly, but Naruto didn't stop. The beeping guided him, through fields, across uneven ground, toward something hidden, something waiting, eventually. He found it a cave, dark, silent, deep. Naruto paused at the entrance. Yeah, this is definitely where people die. Still, he stepped inside. A makeshift torch flickered in his hand, casting long shadows across the stone walls as he moved deeper. The beeping grew louder, faster. Something was close. The cave opened suddenly, expanding into a massive underground chamber. And there, at the center, was something impossible. Naruto stopped completely. No way. A massive figure knelt in the darkness. Metal, worn, damaged, not a creature, not alive, and yet not dead either. That's a titan. Naruto took a cautious step forward, then another. The ground echoed beneath his feet. The torchlight flickered against its surface, revealing more detail, more scale, more presence, and then it moved. Naruto jumped back instantly, kunai flashing into his hand. Instinct, pure, immediate. The giant's head lifted slowly. A single blue light flickered to life, dim, fading, struggling, and then it spoke. Greetings. The voice was mechanical, broken, barely holding together. I am Titan designation, BT 7274. A pause, call sign BT. Oh. Naruto's grip tightened around his kunai, his eyes widened. You're real. The light flickered again, weak, pilot not detected. A pause, power levels critical. Naruto lowered the kunai slowly. This was Jack Cooper's partner, still here, still waiting, still functioning. He told me to find you. Naruto said quietly. The Titan didn't respond immediately. Then, message received. Its voice cracked, request assistance. Naruto stared at the massive machine, then at the dimming blue light. You're dying too. Silence, the torch flickered, the cave felt colder, heavier, and Naruto realized something. This wasn't just about helping someone anymore. This was the beginning of something far bigger than him. The silence inside the cavern didn't last long. It shifted, changed. Naruto's eyes narrowed as a section of the massive Titan's side opened with a heavy mechanical hiss. Panels folded outward with precision, revealing something hidden within. 3 cylindrical canisters, dull, inactive, empty. That's your power source, isn't it? Naruto muttered. The Titan BT didn't respond immediately, but Naruto didn't need confirmation. Even without understanding the technology, the logic was simple. Something this massive didn't move without energy, and right now it was dying. Naruto stepped closer, carefully, warily. His hand reached out, gripping one of the canisters by its handle. It slid free with a soft click. He held it up, studying it under the flickering torchlight. And now what? No seals, no chakra network, no instructions. Nothing familiar. This wasn't a tool of shinobi. This was something far beyond anything his world had ever created. Another dimension, another reality, another war. Naruto exhaled slowly. Guess I'll figure it out myself. He sat down, placed the canister in front of him, closed his eyes. Chakra gathered slowly, carefully. He pressed his hands against the surface and began to pour energy into it. At first, nothing happened. Then the canister flickered, a faint glow appeared inside, green, liquid, flowing. Naruto's eyes widened slightly. It's working. But the feeling didn't last. His breathing grew heavier, faster. The drain was immediate, brutal. Damn. His vision blurred slightly as the canister barely filled a fraction of its capacity. Not even close. Naruto pulled back, panting. This thing's insane. One battery barely filled, and there were 3. He looked down at his hands, then inward to the cage, to the presence that had always been there, watching, waiting. You saw that, didn't you? Naruto muttered quietly. A low, rumbling voice answered from within, ancient, amused, interesting. The Kurama stirred, not out of kindness, not out of loyalty, but curiosity. That energy, it converts power. Naruto smirked faintly. So you're interested. A pause, then. A low chuckle. Don't misunderstand, brat. I just want to see what happens. Naruto didn't argue, didn't need to. Fine. This time, he didn't hold back. Red chakra surged, wild, violent, alive. It poured into the canister like a flood. The green shifted, challenged, deepened. Into crimson, Naruto gritted his teeth as the energy stabilized, the container filling completely this time. Full, complete, that should do it. He stood, walked back, and slammed the canister back into its slot. The panel closed, sealed, and then the Titan reacted. Red electricity burst across its frame. Sparks cracked violently through the air. The ground trembled beneath Naruto's feet. He stepped back instinctively. Okay, that doesn't look stable. Unknown energy source detected. BT's voice crackled, glitching, strained, processing. The light in its eye flickered wildly, adapting. A pause, reboot required. And then, it collapsed. The impact echoed through the cavern. Dust fell, silence followed. Naruto stood still, watching. Waiting. Don't tell me I just killed it. Seconds passed, then. Movement, a twitch, a shift. The Titan's hand moved, slowly, then more, bit by bit. It rose until finally. It stood again, and then. It saluted him. Naruto blinked. You've gotta be kidding me. My previous pilot is no longer detected, BT stated. Status, KIA. A pause, new pilot required. Naruto frowned, pilot. Neural link required for optimal function. Naruto crossed his arms, and what the hell is that? A synchronized connection between pilot and Titan, BT explained, allows communication, coordination, and system integration. Naruto stared at it, flat, unimpressed. Great. A sigh escaped him, another voice in my head, just what I needed. I detect sarcasm. Oh. Naruto's eye twitched. You think. Silence then. Decision. Naruto exhaled slowly. Fine. If he walked away now, someone else would find this, use it, control it, and Naruto was done letting others decide things for him. I'll do it. BT immediately knelt, its chest opened, revealing something impossible. A cockpit, lights, controls, technology beyond comprehension. Please enter to establish neural link. Naruto stared at it, long, hard. This feels like a terrible idea. A pause, trust me. Naruto blinked. Did you just say that? No response. He exhaled. Yeah, definitely a terrible idea. And stepped inside anyway. Darkness swallowed him. Then. Protocol 1 linked to pilot. Light erupted. Green lines filled his vision. Pain, sharp, sudden. Naruto winced. Then. White. Everything went white. And then. Silence. Neural link established. Naruto blinked, breathing steady, vision restored. Well, I'm not dead. Confirmed, BT replied. Naruto let out a short laugh. Good start. What is our objective? He asked. Protocol 2, uphold the mission. And that mission is. BT responded instantly. To locate a suitable zone for harvester deployment. Naruto frowned. And that does what? Generates power, restores primary vessel. Naruto's expression darkened slightly. Your people are already dead. A pause noted. Naruto stared at the interface. You're cold. My core temperature is. Not that, Naruto cut in. Just forget it. Silence returned, then. Naruto leaned back slightly, thinking. Somewhere isolated. A memory surfaced, old buried ruins, annihilation. A land no one dared return to. His eyes sharpened. I know a place. Location. Naruto's voice dropped. Use a Shiagakure. A graveyard of a clan, forgotten, destroyed. No one goes there anymore. Parameters acceptable. Naruto smirked faintly. Figured you'd say that. Parameters acceptable. Yeah, I walked into that one. BT turned, moved, and together. They left the cave, not as a boy running away anymore, but as something else entirely. 2 days later. They moved fast, faster than Naruto expected. BT walked through terrain like it meant nothing. Forests, fields, water, unstoppable, once. A merchant saw them from a distance. He froze, dropped everything, and ran. By nightfall, he was in a tavern drinking, ranting. No one believed him. But that didn't matter because something had entered the world, something no one was prepared for, and at the center of it. Naruto Uzumaki walked forward, without hesitation, without regret, toward a future that would either reshape the world or burn it down completely. The journey did not slow, it deepened. Inside the armored chest of BT-7274, Naruto stood within a world of shifting light and silent systems. The outside no longer felt distant. Through the neural link, he saw what BT saw, not with eyes, but with something sharper, clearer, coordinates adjusted, direction stabilized. "I've got a heading," Naruto murmured, his voice echoing faintly within the cockpit. "Navigation confirmed," BT replied. "Compass functionality remains operational despite reduced power levels." Naruto leaned slightly, watching the terrain pass beneath them through the Titan's visual feed. Good. He had never seen Whirlpool, only read about it. Fragments of history scavenged from discarded books, pages others had thrown away like they meant nothing. But Naruto had kept them, read them, remembered them. Uzumaki, a name buried in ruins, a clan erased so completely that even whispers of them had faded. "Fitting," Naruto muttered. They reached the ocean by nightfall. The vast black expanse stretched endlessly ahead. Waves crashed, wind howled, but BT didn't stop. "Entering aquatic traversal mode," BT stated. Naruto felt the shift as the Titan stepped forward and sank. Water swallowed them. Darkness closed in, yet inside everything remained stable. Air circulated, pressure normalized, systems adjusted. A thin mechanical extension deployed upward, breaching the surface far above to maintain oxygen flow. Naruto blinked. "You planned for this." "Environmental adaptability is within operational parameters." "Of course it is." They walked beneath the sea, unseen, untouched, above them. The world continued unaware, below. Something impossible moved toward a forgotten land. Hours passed, then more, until land returned. BT emerged from the depths, water cascading off its frame as it stepped onto the shores of a broken kingdom. Naruto stepped out slowly and immediately stretched, finally. His joints cracked, muscles loosened, breath deepened. 2 days confined within steel, 2 days of movement without freedom, never doing that again. But when he looked up, everything else faded before him. Ruins, the remains of Uzushiagakure stood silent beneath the sky. Collapsed structures, cracked foundations, nature reclaiming what war had destroyed. So this is it. Naruto's voice was quieter now, not angry, not bitter, just heavy. His clan, his blood erased. BT stood still behind him, scanning, processing. Minutes passed, then. "Location confirmed," BT stated. "Environmental disturbance minimal, structural remnants non-hostile, suitable for deployment." Naruto exhaled slowly, then "Let's start." "But nothing happened, don't tell me." "Additional power required." Naruto groaned. "Of course it is." Hours followed. Painful, exhausting, relentless. Naruto filled each battery, one by one, his chakra, then Kurama-s, green, then red by the end. He collapsed to one knee, breathing heavily. "This better be worth it." "Power levels sufficient," BT confirmed. Then the sky answered. A streak of fire tore through the heavens. Naruto looked up, eyes narrowing. "That's ours." "Affirmative." The object descended rapidly. Then, impact, the ground shook, dust exploded outward. The ruins trembled when the smoke cleared. A massive container rested at the center of the destruction. Then, movement, panels opened, compartments shifted. Machines emerged, robotic figures, precise, efficient, spread out immediately. No hesitation, no confusion. They began to build. Naruto watched, silent. "They don't even know they're alone." "Correct," BT replied. "Programming remains unchanged." The dead continued their mission, through machines, through code, through purpose, and Naruto stood among them. Days passed, 3. He watched as the structure rose, piece by piece, layer by layer, until finally it stood complete, the harvester, massive, alive. It activated with a low, rising hum. Then, a surge of energy erupted skyward. Naruto felt it, even without sensing. Power, raw, endless. "This will attract attention," he muttered. "Confirmed." Naruto turned slightly. "Can we hide it?" Shield generators available, cloaking systems optional. A slow smile formed, good. More drops followed, more machines, more construction. Walls of invisible energy formed, layered. Protected, hidden, a kingdom began to rise. Where none had existed for decades, Naruto climbed a hill overlooking it all, and for the first time. He didn't see ruins, he saw possibility. A memory surfaced from the helmet from another world, a city, massive, alive, advanced beyond imagination, Angel City. Naruto's eyes sharpened, then I'll build something better. Behind him. BT stood silent watching, request acknowledged, it said. Naruto smirked faintly. Yeah. He looked out over the growing structure. Let's build a new world. Not Konoha, not Shinobi, not the past, something else, something greater. And if the world stood in his way, then it would fall. The dream did not remain a dream. Naruto made sure of that. Steel rose where ash once lingered. Light replaced silence, purpose replaced ruin, at the center of it all. Naruto stood, watching, learning, becoming. The warehouse came first, massive, cold, precise, inside it. Rows upon rows of cylindrical chambers stood aligned like silent soldiers, learning pods, thousands of them. Naruto stepped forward, eyes reflecting their faint glow. So this is it. Affirmative, BT replied. These units contain the accumulated knowledge of an advanced civilization. Naruto smirked, good. Because he had no intention of staying ignorant, his hands formed a seal, shadow clone jutsu. Hundreds of Narutos appeared instantly, each one silent, focused, determined. BT's sensors adjusted, processing, recording, adapting. New ability logged, BT stated. Mass duplication without external devices. Naruto didn't respond, he didn't need to. Each clone stepped forward, entered a pod, and the moment the chambers sealed. Everything changed, knowledge flooded in. Weapons, engineering, energy systems, tactical warfare, languages, worlds, everything. Naruto's real body remained outside, standing, waiting. This is gonna hurt. And it did when the clones dispelled. It came all at once, pain, blinding, overwhelming. Naruto dropped to his knees. GHH. His mind exploded with information. Fragments, memories, concepts too vast to comprehend instantly. His vision fractured, reality bent, but he endured because pain was something he had mastered long ago, not enough. And he stood again. 2 years later. Time moved differently in silence, and Naruto changed with it where ruins once stood. A city now breathed, 8. New Angel City, a name taken from memory, but reborn through will. Towering structures pierced the sky, energy pulsed through the streets, lights danced across glass and steel, and yet no voices filled it, no people walked its roads, only one, Naruto Uzumaki. From the highest structure, he stood overlooking everything he had built. Not bad. Behind him, thousands of MRVNs moved in perfect synchronization, working, maintaining, expanding. They didn't sleep, didn't question, didn't hesitate, and Naruto used them all. Farms had been established, wildlife contained, food secured, satellites orbited above, watching, mapping, tracking. The world laid bare beneath his gaze. I can see everything. Naruto whispered, villages, borders, movements, secrets, nothing hidden, and yet they couldn't see him because Whirlpool no longer existed to them. 7. The shields held perfectly to the outside world. The island had vanished beneath an endless storm, a death trap, a natural disaster. No one dared approach. Naruto smiled faintly. Good. Let them stay afraid, let them stay blind, because while he built, the world moved elsewhere, the beginning of war. Minato Namikaze did not forget, he did not forgive, and most importantly, he did not stop. Naruto's disappearance had forced his hand, accelerated everything. Plans once meant for years now moved in months, control, power, dominance. And for that, he needed technology, which meant one target, Kyuki Kazahana. She would never surrender it willingly, so he didn't ask, he took. The attack came without warning, steel doors shattered, blood spilled, root moved like shadows, silent, efficient, merciless. Kyuki ran not as a ruler, But as prey, her guards fell one by one, samurai clashing against assassins, steel against silence, betrayal burned deeper than fear. Konoha. Her voice trembled not from weakness but fury. They'll pay for this. Through hidden tunnels. Through collapsing passages. She fled until finally. She made her choice, the key turned, and the world answered. A storm was unleashed. Snow returned with vengeance. Blizzard, wind, fury. Nature itself turned hostile. If Konoha wanted her country, they would choke on it the night of encounter. The storm raged, visibility gone, hope fading. Kyuki and her remaining guards stumbled through the snow, exhausted, cornered, and then they were surrounded. Root emerged from the storm, silent, emotionless, unstoppable, weapons raised, kill order confirmed. The end had arrived, and then a sound deep, heavy, unnatural. Everyone froze, even Root, because something was coming through the storm, through the snow, through the impossible. A silhouette formed, massive, towering metal, and then it stepped forward. BT 7274, kneeling, weapon raised. Snow slid off its frame as it rose to full height, dwarfing everything. Kyuki's breath caught. What is that? Even Root paused, not from fear, but from calculation, and then the Titan's eye ignited, blue, cold, focused, and inside. Naruto Uzumaki watched, silent, unseen, not as a boy, not as a victim, but as something else entirely, and for the first time. The world outside his hidden kingdom was about to meet him. The storm didn't stop, it howled louder. Snow carved through the air like blades, obscuring everything. Everything except it. BT 7274 stood unmoving, towering, unshaken. Its single blue optic glowed through the blizzard like a cold star, watching, calculating, deciding. Kyuki and her guards didn't dare breathe. Even the Root operatives, trained to feel nothing, had paused, not from fear, but from something far more dangerous, uncertainty. And then something shifted. A section along the Titan's shoulder adjusted with a precise mechanical click. Panels rotated, locked, a series of faint beeps echoed, fast, sharp, final. Naruto's voice inside the cockpit was calm, too calm. BT, eliminate hostile targets. Affirmative. What followed was not a battle, it was execution. Missiles launched, too fast to follow, too precise to evade. The explosions tore through the storm. Fire met snow, heat met ice, and in less than a second, most of Root ceased to exist. Not bodies, not remains, just fragments. The snow turned red, silence followed, one remained. The last Root operative didn't hesitate, didn't think, didn't fight. He ran because instinct, even when buried, still knew when death was inevitable. But Naruto didn't let things go unfinished. BT. The Titan moved, its weapon raised, locked, target acquired. A single shot rang out, and the man vanished, gone as if he had never existed. The storm swallowed what little remained. Silence returned. Kyuki stood frozen. Her breath trembled. Her body refused to move, because what stood before her was not something she understood, not a shinobi, not a weapon, something else, something worse. BT lowered its weapon, then turned, its gaze settled on her. Are you unharmed? The voice was mechanical, emotionless, but the question was real. Kyuki swallowed. Why, yes. Understood. And then the impossible became stranger. The Titan knelt. Snow shifted beneath its weight as it lowered itself before her. Not in dominance, but something that resembled respect. Kyuki's eyes widened. What? Then its chest opened, light spilled outward, revealing something no one there expected. A person. A figure stepped out, calm, unhurried, boots touched the snow, and then he walked toward her. Kyuki. Her breath caught that voice. Familiar. Who? He reached up, removed the helmet. Blonde hair, blue eyes, a face she hadn't seen in years. Naruto Uzumaki. Man, he exhaled softly, a faint smile forming. I made it just in time. Kyuki stared, unable to process, unable to speak. Naruto. Behind her, a whisper, the demon. Naruto's expression didn't change, but his eyes did, sharp, cold, aware. He moved instantly. A kunai appeared. Intercepted midair, caught, effortless. Naruto didn't even look at the attacker. Seems like you've got a problem, he said quietly. The traitor froze, too late. Naruto turned, a weapon already in his hand, sleek, compact, unfamiliar. No. One word, the trigger pulled, the sound. Short final, the man dropped, dead before he hit the ground. The storm carried the echo away. Kyuki's hands trembled. What was that? Naruto holstered the weapon calmly. Something your world hasn't caught up to yet. He looked at her, really looked. We don't have time. The storm worsened, the danger hadn't passed. You're still being hunted, he continued, and this place isn't safe. A pause, come with me. Kyuki hesitated. This wasn't the boy she remembered, not the loud, reckless shinobi who stumbled through missions. This was something else. But he saved her, protected her, didn't hesitate, and most importantly, he wasn't with Konoha, she nodded. Naruto gave a small, satisfied nod in return. Good. He placed the helmet back on BT. Awaiting command. Call in transport. Affirmative. For a moment. Nothing happened then. The sky roared, a new sound tore through the storm. 6. Wind exploded outward, snow blasted away in violent waves, a massive dropship descended from above, not like anything Kyuki had ever seen, sleek, deadly, advanced beyond comprehension. What is that? One of her guards whispered. Naruto didn't answer. The hatch opened. Inside, he ordered, no hesitation this time. They moved, quickly, one by one. They entered, Naruto followed last, inside. Machines, controls. A cockpit unlike any airship. He took the co-pilot's seat. Calm, familiar, a robotic unit piloted the craft, silent, precise, above. BT attached itself to the underside, carried, transported. The ship rose, the storm swallowed their departure, and just like that. They were gone. Kyuki sat in silence, still processing, still shaking. She turned slowly, looking at Naruto. What happened to you? Naruto didn't answer immediately. His gaze remained forward, cold, focused, everything. And as the ship disappeared into the storm, one truth became undeniable. Naruto Uzumaki had returned to the world, but the person who came back was no longer human in the way they remembered. The storm swallowed them whole, from the outside. Nothing could be seen, nothing could be tracked. Nothing could be followed. The blizzard howled like a living wall, erasing all trace of their escape. Even the most skilled sensory shinobi would find nothing but chaos inside the dropship. There was only silence. No one spoke, not Kyuki, not her guards, not even Naruto. Shock hung heavier than the storm itself, because what they had witnessed could not be explained, could not be understood. A single machine had erased an entire squad of Root, effortlessly, and the one who commanded it sat just a few feet away. Naruto didn't look back, didn't try to reassure them, didn't soften what they had seen, because there was nothing to soften. Almost there, he said quietly. The storm began to thin, the ocean emerged, calm, endless. The dropship glided forward smoothly now, cutting through the sky like it belonged there. And then they reached it. Naruto's hand moved across the console. Codes entered, systems responded, a distortion shimmered ahead, invisible. Until it was, a section of reality itself seemed to open. Clearance confirmed, the system echoed, the ship passed through, and the world changed. 6. Light, blinding, clean, alive, the dropship descended slowly into a massive landing zone. Engines faded, silence returned. The hatch opened. Kyuki stepped out first and froze, her breath caught. This isn't real. Buildings stretched endlessly into the sky. Glass, steel, light, roads perfectly aligned, structures untouched. Technology beyond imagination humming quietly in the air. And yet, no people. Not a single soul, just emptiness. How? She whispered. Naruto stepped out beside her, removing his helmet. Welcome, he said simply, a faint smile, to my home. He gestured outward. This is New Angel City. Kyuki turned slowly, taking it all in, again and again. How is this possible? Naruto didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at her, really looked. I'll explain. A pause, but not like this. He glanced at her guards, their exhaustion, their shaking hands, their barely contained fear. You all almost died today, he continued. Your bodies know it, even if your minds haven't caught up yet. Silence, you need rest. Kyuki hesitated, but she couldn't deny it. Her legs felt weak, her thoughts heavy. All right. Naruto nodded. Come on. Oh. He led them through the empty streets. The city responded silently. lights adjusting, paths guiding, systems watching. They reached a residential sector, rows of houses, identical, perfect, waiting. Pick any, Naruto said. They're all empty. They stared at him, all of them. Naruto shrugged lightly. I'm the only one living here until now. That realization hit harder than anything else. This wasn't a city, it was a kingdom, and he was its only ruler. Get some sleep, Naruto continued. Don't wander, you'll get lost. A small pause, and trust me, you don't want me searching this entire place for you. Some of them actually managed weak smiles at that. Food will be ready when you wake up. You cook, one of them asked, confused. Naruto smirked faintly. Badly. Oh, and with that, they separated, doors closed, lights dimmed, and for the first time in what felt like forever. They slept. Naruto didn't, not immediately. He moved through the city, purposeful, focused, inside an engineering facility. He began issuing commands, learning pods, deployment, expansion. MRVNs scattered instantly to fulfill his orders because this wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about growth, understanding, control. They'll need to learn, Naruto muttered, because there was no way he could explain this world to them, not in words, only experience, only immersion, only truth. Hours later, he returned, food supplies already delivered, ordered, prepared. He worked in silence, cooking, slow, methodical, a simple stew, nothing special, but enough. By the time they woke, the smell filled the house, one by one. They gathered, tired, confused, hungry. Naruto handed out bowls. They ate quietly until finally Kayuki spoke. Now you're going to explain. No hesitation, no fear, just demand. Naruto finished his meal, set the bowl down, looked at her. I told you the truth earlier, he said calmly. A pause. This technology. His gaze sharpened. Isn't from this world. Silence fell. You expect us to believe that? One of them asked. Naruto leaned back slightly. They were human, he continued, just not from here. Kayuki shook her head slowly. That doesn't make it easier to accept. Naruto smirked faintly. It doesn't have to. He gestured around them, because whether you believe it or not. Then pause. You're standing in it. Kayuki looked around again, the city, the lights, the impossible, and for the first time. She didn't argue because there was no argument left. Only one question remained. What had Naruto become and what would he do next? The silence after Naruto's words lingered, heavy, uncomfortable, unavoidable. No one argued, no one denied what stood before them, because the truth wasn't something they could reject anymore. It surrounded them, towered over them, breathed quietly in every corner of this impossible city. Naruto rose from his seat, calm, certain. Good, he said softly. Then come with me. Kayuki narrowed her eyes slightly. Where? Naruto glanced back at her, that same faint, unreadable expression on his face. You wanted answers. Then pause. I'm going to give you all of them. He didn't wait, didn't explain further. He simply walked out. The others exchanged looks, uncertain, wary, but they followed because at this point, there was no turning back. Outside, the city was quieter than before, still alive, still watching. Two large transport vehicles waited, engines humming softly. No drivers, only machines. They move on their own. One of the guards whispered. Naruto didn't even look back. They move because I tell them to. That answer didn't comfort anyone. One by one they climbed in. The vehicles moved, smooth, precise, silent. They passed through the city, through empty streets and towering structures, until they reached something larger, more industrial, more important. A massive facility stood before them. The doors opened automatically, and inside rose hundreds, thousands, learning pods, 5. Soft lights pulsed along their surfaces, alive, waiting. What are those? Someone asked quietly. Naruto stepped forward. These, he gestured calmly, are how you survive here. They looked at him, confused, suspicious. To put it simply, Naruto continued, you enter one and it teaches you. Silence teaches what? Kayuki asked. Naruto's eyes met hers. Everything. A pause. Everything I learned in the last 2 years. That broke the tension. You've been here for 2 years. Kayuki's voice rose, disbelief turning into anger. And you hid all of this from the world. Naruto didn't flinch, didn't hesitate. Yes. The word landed hard. Why? She demanded. Naruto turned fully now, his expression No longer calm, cold, sharp, unforgiving. And what should I have done? He asked quietly. The room seemed to tighten. Given this to the shinobi villages, he continued, to people who already kill each other with what little power they have. A step forward, imagine Konoha with this. No one spoke because they didn't need to. They had already seen what one machine could do. They would destroy everything, Naruto finished. Silence followed. Even Kayuki had no answer. Naruto exhaled slowly. For now, I do nothing. That answer shocked them more than anything else. Nothing. One of them repeated. Naruto nodded. I wait. His gaze drifted slightly, distant, calculating. Konoha is already moving, he said. Their plans are too deep to stop now. Kyuki's expression darkened. You're going to let them win. Naruto looked back at her. Yes. The word echoed, cold, final, but not the way they think. A faint smile touched his lips, not warm, not kind, dangerous. I'll let them fight, Naruto continued. Let them weaken every enemy. Let them believe they've conquered everything. A pause, and when they celebrate. His eyes sharpened. That's when I take it all away. No one spoke because suddenly they understood this wasn't revenge, this was strategy, a war that hadn't even begun yet, and the people, Kyuki asked quietly. Naruto's gaze softened just slightly. I save the ones who don't deserve to die. A pause, I bring them here. He gestured around them. This becomes their home. A sanctuary hidden, untouchable for a moment. No one questioned him, because for the first time, his plan didn't feel monstrous, it felt necessary. So what do we do now? Kyuki asked. Naruto turned, walked toward the control console. Now. His fingers moved across the interface. Commands entered, systems activated. The pods responded, one by one. They opened, a soft hiss echoed through the facility. Naruto glanced back at them, a small smile forming. Now. He stepped aside, you learn. Silence then. Movement slow at first, then. One by one. They stepped forward into the unknown, each person entering a pod, each one laying back, each one trusting. Or at least hoping. The lids closed, darkness, and then light. A world beyond understanding unfolded inside their minds. Knowledge poured in, fast, relentless, endless, and as they began to learn. The chain. To evolve. Naruto stood outside, watching, waiting, because this was only the beginning.
Naruto did not just escape his past, he erased it. While the world moved toward war, he's building something far more dangerous in the shadows. A hidden empire powered by knowledge no one else understands. Kuyuku and her people thought they found safety, but what they are really entered in a completely new world. A world where Naruto is not a ninja anymore, he is something far beyond that. So now the real question is, when the time comes, will Naruto save the world or rewrite completely?
Chapter 3. Time did not stop, it split in one part of the world. War was beginning to take shape, invisible, unavoidable, and in another. Far from prying eyes, hidden beneath layers of deception and silence. A new world was being born for Naruto Uzumaki. Time moved differently now, not slower, not faster, deeper. Days blurred into weeks, weeks into months, and yet, every moment carried weight, purpose, change. New Angel City no longer felt empty, where once there had been silence. Now there was life, not loud, not chaotic, but growing. Kyuki and her people adapted, faster than Naruto expected at first. They had been overwhelmed, lost, confused by everything around them, but the learning pods changed that. Knowledge replaced fear. Understanding replaced doubt. Weeks passed, and what once seemed impossible became routine. Lights, systems, machines. They learned to use them all, to live, to function, to belong. Naruto watched it happen from a distance, always observing, always thinking, because while they adapted to the present, he was focused on the future, inside his chosen residence. Positioned strategically between the engineering bays and landing platforms. Naruto worked, tools spread across tables, holographic projections shifting in the air, fragments of designs incomplete, but evolving behind him. A calm, familiar voice echoed. Your neural activity indicates elevated concentration levels. Naruto didn't look back. I'm thinking. Confirmed. The AI projection of BT-7274 remained still. Watching, learning, adapting, even when the Titan itself rested in the hangar. It was never truly absent. I need something more, Naruto muttered, because strength alone wasn't enough anymore. He already had power, more than any shinobi alive, but power was predictable and predictable. Could be countered. Naruto's eyes shifted toward the central interface, the archive, the memory bank recovered from harmony, a civilization's worth of knowledge. Stored, preserved, and within it. Something else had caught his attention, not weapons, not machines, but people specifically. A competition, the Apex Games. Naruto had watched them countless times, studied them, analyzed them, fighters from different worlds, different backgrounds, different abilities, but one stood above the rest. Wraith. A shadow, a ghost, a distortion in reality itself. Naruto leaned forward slightly. You don't use seals. That was what fascinated him, teleportation. Without preparation, without markers, without limitation, unlike Minato Namikaze, who relied on precision and setup. This was instinct, immediate, unrestricted. That changes everything. Naruto accessed deeper files, restricted ones, hidden ones, and what he found was not power, it was suffering, a subject, an experiment, a girl stripped of her past. Thrown into something she didn't understand, voices in her head, endless, relentless. Naruto's expression darkened. Yeah. A quiet breath escaped him. I know that feeling. Not the same, but close enough, where she had voices. He had Kurama, where she had experiments. He had a lifetime of manipulation, different worlds, same pain, were not so different. Naruto continued digging, deeper, past surface-level data, and then he found it, the truth, another version of her from another reality, a survivor, a weapon, a guide, the one who showed her how to use the void, the device that was the key. Naruto's eyes sharpened. So that's how you did it. Not natural, not inherited, engineered, a tool that allowed the user to step outside reality itself. Dangerous, unstable, perfect. Naruto leaned back slowly. I can build this. The groundwork was already there, incomplete designs, failed attempts, abandoned research, because the people who started it never got the chance to finish, but Naruto would. Because unlike them, he had time, and unlike them, he had a reason. This will give me an edge. Not just in battle, but in survival, in unpredictability, in becoming something no one could counter. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the city, life continued. Kouki and her people had changed, not just in knowledge, but in purpose for the first time. They weren't bound by titles or expectations. They chose. Some became engineers, others focused on medicine. Some turned to agriculture, skills they never needed before now defined them, and strangely, they thrived. Kouki stood among them, watching, thinking, this place. She whispered softly, it's not just a refuge. It was something more, something bigger, something that could reshape everything. And at the center of it, Naruto Uzumaki, a boy who once begged for acknowledgement, now building a world that didn't need anyone else's approval. Back in his lab, Naruto activated a new schematic, energy patterns shifted, calculations adjusted, the beginning of something dangerous took form. Let's see if I can break reality too. And somewhere deep within, Kurama stirred, not with amusement, but with interest, because even the beast could feel it. Naruto wasn't just changing his world anymore, he was preparing to rewrite the rules of it. The city didn't just grow, it evolved. What began as survivors became something else, stronger, sharper, more dangerous. Those who once lived as soldiers found their purpose quickly. Warriors didn't need direction, they needed opportunity. And Naruto had given them one, inside the simulation chambers. They trained relentlessly, weapons unfamiliar to their hands became extensions of their will, firearms, tactical systems, advanced combat maneuvers. At first, they struggled because this wasn't shinobi combat. There were no hand signs, no chakra weaving, no second chances, just precision, speed, and death. But slowly, they adapted, and once they did, They became terrifying. Naruto observed it all, every movement, every mistake, every improvement, but among them, one stood out: Koyuki at first. He hadn't expected anything from her, a ruler without a throne, a leader without power. He assumed she would choose administration, support, something distant from the battlefield. He was wrong. I want to fight. Her words had been simple, direct, unshaken. Naruto remembered the moment clearly, the way her eyes didn't waver. I won't be protected anymore. There had been no hesitation, no doubt. I'll stand on my own next time. That was the moment he understood. She wasn't asking, she was deciding, and then she went further. I want to become a pilot. That had surprised him because that wasn't just ambition, that was insanity. Pilots weren't soldiers, they weren't even elite, they were something else entirely, the ones trusted with titans. Carried entire battlefields on their shoulders, and the training, it broke people physically, mentally, completely. Naruto had warned her, clearly, coldly, you won't survive it if you hesitate. Her answer, then I won't hesitate. That was enough. The training began, and it was brutal. Naruto didn't hold back, not once, inside the simulation. There was no mercy, only reality, again and again. She failed again and again. She was destroyed, crushed under overwhelming force, outmaneuvered, outclassed, and every time. Naruto stood over her, unmoved, again. No comfort, no praise, only expectation. Koyuki hated it, hated losing, hated the gap between them, but more than that. She hated her past self, the version of her that needed protection, so she kept going, day after day, week after week, until something changed. She stopped reacting and started thinking. Her movements sharpened, her decisions improved, and for the first time. She didn't lose instantly. Naruto noticed, he adjusted, pushed harder. And then, it happened, a mistake, small, almost unnoticeable, but Koyuki saw it and she took it, one decisive move. Victory, silence filled the simulation. Naruto stood there, still, then. A faint smile appeared, good. Koyuki didn't celebrate, didn't smile, because she knew. That was just the beginning, eventually. She reached the next stage, real Titan selection. Rows of machines stood before her, each one different, each one deadly. Naruto watched as she walked past them, observing, analyzing, until she stopped. This one. The monarch class. Naruto let out a quiet chuckle, fitting. Royalty choosing a monarch, but symbolism didn't matter, performance did, and from that moment, her true training began elsewhere. Naruto prepared something far larger. Inside the war room. Screens surrounded him, a world mapped in real time, movements tracked, voices recorded, secrets exposed. 6. No village knew, no shinobi sensed it, because this level of observation didn't exist in their world. Naruto listened. Meetings, plans, whispers, Konoha, always Konoha. Minato's frustration was clear. Search teams, tracking units, intelligence networks, all failing. Naruto was gone completely, and it infuriated them. Good. Naruto leaned back slightly. Let them search, let them waste time, they would never find him. But that wasn't the most interesting part. Another conversation played, Jiraiya, the elders, the council, and something else, a prophecy. Naruto's eyes narrowed. So that's what this is. A student in Uzumaki. One who would either save or destroy. Everything Menma or Naruto, two paths, two outcomes in Konoha. Wanted control over both. Naruto laughed softly. Of course you do. It all made sense now. The manipulation, the lies, the control. He was never meant to live freely. Only to serve, only to obey. His eyes darkened. Too late. Because the moment he left, that future died in something else. Was born something they couldn't predict, something they couldn't control. Naruto Uzumaki was no longer part of their story. He was writing his own, and soon the entire world would be forced to read it. Naruto didn't just laugh, he broke into it. Not joy, not humor, something darker, something that had been building for years. Finally given a reason to surface. So that's why, he muttered, shaking his head slowly. All of it, the manipulation, the lies, the control, a prophecy. That was what he had been reduced to. Not a son, not a shinobi, a possibility, a tool meant to shape the future. Not by choice, but by force. Naruto leaned back in his chair inside the war room, screens flickering around him, voices still echoing. You really thought I'd fall in line." His laughter faded, and what remained was cold because now there was no doubt left, no hesitation, no internal conflict. Konoha had never been his home, it had been a cage, and every single person inside it had held the key. Naruto's eyes darkened. None of you deserve mercy. He had listened every voice, every lie, every hidden truth, his classmates, the villagers, the shinobi, even the ones who smiled at him, had worn masks, and behind those masks was nothing, no loyalty, no kindness, only convenience. Then there was her, Hinata. Naruto's expression didn't change, but something behind his eyes shifted. "You chose him." Not betrayal, calculation, a lie wrapped in affection, and now a new life, a child, a future that had never belonged to Naruto in the first place. Good. Because it made things easier. No hesitation, no attachment, nothing left to hold him back. Time passed, 2 years in silence, 2 years in shadows, and while Naruto built something new, the world outside rotted. Konoha moved, slowly, carefully, their plans unfolding piece by piece. Snow Country fell completely under their control. Technology was extracted, studied, weaponized, but they struggled because what they had was primitive compared to Naruto's world. It was nothing. He watched it all, amused. You're playing with scraps. Even their greatest advancements were outdated to him, yet they were enough: airships, armor, military expansion. War was coming, and they were almost ready. But then something interesting happened. A report, a whisper, a target, the Six-Tails Jinchuriki. Naruto leaned forward slightly. Now that's useful. Konoha reacted immediately. Orders were given, a strike team assembled, and leading them Sasuke. Naruto's smile returned. Perfect. Because this wasn't just opportunity, this was timing. 2 goals, 1 mission: gain an ally, and erase a past that refused to stay buried. In the armory, the militia prepared, weapons loaded, armor secured. No hesitation, because they understood every mission brought them closer to something bigger. Naruto moved among them, silent, focused. His hand rested briefly on a device strapped to his arm. Sleek, compact, dangerous, the Voidwalker prototype, finished, tested, ready. "Let's see what you can do," he murmured. This wasn't a simulation, this was real, and failure wasn't an option. The dropship lifted, carving through the sky, leaving behind the only place Naruto could call his own, for now, border of the land of fire. The forest stood still, too still. Sasuke sensed it. Something was wrong. "Spread out," he ordered coldly. His squad moved instantly, disciplined, efficient. But before they could take 3 steps, a sound, soft, sharp, almost nothing. One of them dropped, dead, no warning, no struggle, just gone. What? Someone began. Another sound, another body fell, then another and another, too fast, too precise, within seconds. Everyone but Sasuke was dead. Silence returned, heavy. What the hell is happening? Sasuke snapped, eyes scanning wildly. No chakra, no presence, nothing, just corpses and confusion. Then a voice above him. "Well, this is disappointing." Sasuke spun. A figure stood on the cliff above, still, relaxed, watching, armor unlike anything he had seen, a mask green with orange streaks, unknown, unfamiliar, dangerous. "Who are you?" Sasuke demanded. The figure tilted his head slightly. Seriously. "Oh." A soft chuckle escaped him. "I leave for a couple years." A pause, "And you forget me already." Sasuke's eyes narrowed. That voice, something about it familiar. Wait. Realization hit. Naruto. The masked figure stood silently for a moment. Then, slowly, he leaned forward and laughed, not loudly, but enough to confirm everything. "Yeah. A step forward, I'm back." And in that moment, Sasuke felt it. Not chakra, not killing intent, something worse, something unfamiliar, something that didn't belong in their world, and for the first time in years, Sasuke felt uncertainty. The air didn't move, even the forest seemed to hold its breath. Sasuke stood still, eyes locked, muscles tense, and above him, the past had returned. Naruto stepped forward, then dropped, not like a shinobi, not like anything Sasuke had ever seen. A controlled fall, clean, effortless. He landed without a sound, no stumble, no wasted motion, like gravity itself had no authority over him. So you do remember me, Naruto said calmly. Sasuke didn't relax, didn't lower his guard, because something was wrong. This wasn't the Naruto he knew. I don't know why you're here, Sasuke began. You do. Naruto cut him off instantly, a single step forward. I'm here for the same reason you are. Silence the Jinchuriki, Naruto continued. Except we're not on the same side this time. Sasuke's eyes sharpened. You're too late, he replied coldly. He belongs to Konoha. Naruto tilted his head slightly. Belongs. A small chuckle escaped him. That's funny. Oh, because the word itself was everything Naruto hated. I don't take orders anymore, Naruto said, and I'm not here to chain him like you. A pause, I'm here to give him a choice. Sasuke stepped forward, and I'm here to take him back. Their eyes met, the tension snapped. Then try, Naruto said quietly. Sasuke moved first, fast, explosive, years of training condensed into a single attack, but Naruto didn't react like before. He didn't scramble, didn't panic. He waited, and then he moved, their fists collided, but the difference was immediate, Sasuke's style. Refined, disciplined, deadly Naruto-s. Unpredictable, efficient, brutal. Close quarters combat refined through simulations. Beyond anything Sasuke had faced, blow after blow. Sasuke was pushed back. What the hell, Sasuke muttered under his breath. This wasn't supposed to happen. Naruto saw it, that moment, that hesitation, and he took it. A switch flicked, electricity surged, the baton connected. Sasuke screamed, his body locked, muscles seized under the violent current. The forest lit up in a flash. Then it stopped. Sasuke tore himself free, breathing hard. Pain radiated through his body. What was that? He growled. Naruto spun the weapon casually. Something you can't counter with hand signs. A smirk formed beneath the helmet. So, are you done pretending? That did it. Sasuke's eyes bled into red. The Mangekyou awakened. Killing intent flooded the air, but Naruto didn't flinch. Careful, he said softly. You might actually have to try now. The baton flew. Sasuke dodged, but that was the mistake. Naruto was already there, a fist crashing into his face. Sasuke staggered, then roared. Fire erupted. A torrent of flames surged forward, but Naruto didn't move. A mechanism unfolded from his armor. A shimmering barrier expanded. The fire hit and stopped like it never existed. Sasuke's eyes widened. Impossible. Naruto didn't answer. He threw something, small, unassuming. It landed beside Sasuke. Then activated, gravity twisted, pulled inward violently. Sasuke stumbled, balance lost. Naruto was already moving. A kick driven straight into his core. Sasuke was launched back, crashing into the ground. Dust rose, silence followed. Naruto walked forward slowly. This is it. Disappointment, pure, unfiltered. You've had years, he continued, and this is all you've got. Sasuke's hands clenched. Do. Naruto stopped, then leaned slightly forward. How are you going to avenge anything if you're this weak? That broke him, Sasuke roared. Chakra exploded outward. The ground cracked beneath him. And then it appeared. The Susanoo, towering, monstrous, unstoppable, its presence crushed the air itself. Sasuke stood within it, untouchable. Now his voice echoed, die. The giant arm came down. Naruto moved, fast, too fast. He slipped past the strike, rolled, dodged again, each attack missing by inches. The ground shattered, trees exploded, but Naruto was never there. A grappling line fired. He pulled himself forward, avoiding another crushing blow. You're slow, Naruto mocked. Sasuke's rage surged. He attacked again and again, each time missing until he stopped and thought. Two massive spikes of energy shot outward, embedding deep into the terrain. Naruto landed and froze, trapped, no space to move, no path to escape. Sasuke raised his arm. The Susanoo mirrored it, a killing blow. Inevitable, got you. For the first time. Naruto didn't move, didn't dodge, didn't react. Instead, he smiled, slow, deliberate, and reached for the device on his arm. Let's test this. Reality itself twitched. The blade came down, massive, unavoidable. Sasuke's Susanoo surged forward with absolute certainty. A killing strike meant to erase Naruto from existence. I've got you now, Sasuke declared. There was no hesitation in his voice, no doubt, because from his perspective, this was over. Naruto didn't move, didn't dodge, didn't even brace. He simply raised his hand. You really never change. And then, reality split. A dark tear opened in front of him. A void, black, endless, outlined in flickering blue light. The Susanoo blade plunged into it. Without resistance, for a fraction of a second. Everything froze, then. Another tear opened right in front of Sasuke. Too close, too sudden, too late, the blade emerged. From his own attack and pierced straight through, the Susanoo shattered. The impact sent Sasuke flying, armor cracked, chakra destabilized. He hit the ground hard. The giant construct dissolved instantly. Leaving nothing behind, silence, Naruto lowered his hand. The portals collapsed, as if they had never existed, and that's game. He stepped forward slowly, each step deliberate, measured. Sasuke coughed, blood spilling from his lips, pain coursed through his body. But his eyes still burned. You don't get it, he rasped. He tried to move, failed. You're still weak. Naruto stopped, a quiet breath escaped him, still talking. Disappointment again, you'll never win, Sasuke continued, forcing the words out. No matter what you become, you'll always be beneath. Naruto pressed a switch on his helmet, the faceplate opened, and for the first time, Sasuke saw him, not rage, not hatred, just disgust, pure, unfiltered. You really believe that? Naruto reached for his weapon, a handgun, simple, compact. He opened it. Let the bullets fall into his hand, then inserted one, spun the chamber, closed it, pointed it, and fired. Clicked nothing. Sasuke flinched anyway. Naruto smiled faintly. See that? A pause. Even now you're scared. Sasuke's jaw clenched. Pathetic. Bang, the shot rang out, a split second too late to react. The bullet tore through Sasuke's arm, a scream followed, raw, uncontrolled. Naruto tilted his head slightly. Timing matters. Sasuke clutched at the wound. Or tried to, but the damage was already done. You bastard, he shouted. Naruto walked closer, reloading slowly, calmly, like none of this mattered. Funny, Naruto said. You've got a lot to say for someone on the ground. Sasuke forced his remaining arm up, trying to form a seal. Another shot. The second arm dropped uselessly. Silence, heavy. You see it yet? Naruto asked. No answer, only labored breathing. Naruto sighed, then fired again. The bullet tore into Sasuke's leg, a different scream this time. Lower, more desperate. Naruto watched him, studying. Still don't get it. He waited, gave him time, then another shot. The final leg gave out. Sasuke collapsed completely. Broken, helpless, Naruto lowered the gun, holstered it, no longer needed. He stood over him, looking down, not as a rival, not as an enemy, but as something already finished. This is what you were so proud of. Sasuke tried to speak. Nothing came out, because for the first time, there was nothing left to say, and Naruto hadn't even used everything he had. The forest fell silent again. But this time, it wasn't tension, it was finality, and somewhere deep inside, even Sasuke understood it. He had already lost. The forest remained still, too still. Sasuke lay broken against the earth, breathing, barely, but his eyes still burned. I'll kill you, he roared, voice cracking through the silence. Naruto didn't react, didn't flinch. Instead, he laughed, not loudly, not mockingly, just tired. You're still saying that. He stepped closer, calm, unhurried. You should be grateful, Naruto continued. I didn't kill you. Sasuke's jaw tightened, grateful. Naruto crouched down, meeting his gaze. Do you have any idea, he said quietly, how precise I had to be? A pause to leave you like this without ending you. That truth settled in. Because Sasuke could feel it, every wound, every shattered muscle. Naruto hadn't missed, not once. What do you want from me? Sasuke demanded. Naruto tilted his head slightly. To thank you. Silence, you're insane. Naruto smiled faintly. No. He sat down in front of him, cross-legged. I just remember things clearly. Sasuke glared at him, then explain it. Naruto exhaled slowly. You really don't see it, do you? A pause, everything you've done. Sasuke scoffed weakly. I did what I had to. Naruto's eyes narrowed. That's your answer. No anger, just disappointment. I remember wave, Naruto continued. I remember who actually fought, who actually stood up when no one else would. A pause, but somehow it was always you who got the credit. Oh. Sasuke's expression hardened. I earned it. Naruto didn't argue, didn't raise his voice. Instead, he leaned forward slightly, and snow. That made Sasuke pause. Naruto saw it. Yeah, he murmured, you remember. The silence stretched. Even if you twist it, Naruto continued, even if you lie to yourself. His voice dropped. There's one thing you can't deny. Sasuke's gaze sharpened. What? Naruto's eyes went cold. You crossed a line. No shouting, no rage, just truth, and for a moment, Sasuke didn't respond because deep down, he understood, but pride wouldn't let him admit it. You're weak, Sasuke spat instead, still clinging to the past. Naruto stared at him, then sighed. No. He stood up slowly. I let go of the past. Then pause. That's why I'm standing here. Sasuke tried to move, failed. You can't leave me like this. Naruto turned his back. Watch me. Panic flickered for the first time. Reals Naruto. Naruto stopped but didn't turn around. You know what's funny? He said quietly, a pause. No one knows you're here. Sasuke froze. This mission, Naruto continued. Silent, hidden, disposable. Each word hit harder than any strike by the time anyone notices. Naruto glanced slightly over his shoulder. You'll be gone. The weight of it settled in. No glory, no witnesses, no legacy, just silence. Sasuke's breathing grew uneven. You would. Naruto's expression didn't change. I already did. A pause. You lost, Sasuke. Not shouted, not emphasized, just stated. Final. And the worst part. Naruto's eyes darkened. I didn't even need everything I have. Silence then. He stepped forward, away, each step quieter than the last, until he was gone, leaving behind nothing but wind and a broken man, for the first time in his life. Sasuke Uchiha wasn't fighting, wasn't chasing power, wasn't winning. He was simply waiting for an end that no one would see. The silence didn't last. It never did. You. Sasuke's voice broke, and then he screamed, a sound so raw, so guttural. It didn't even sound human anymore. Blood poured down his face, where his eyes once were. Now there was nothing, just ruin. Naruto stood over him, calm, unmoved. His blade glistened faintly before he wiped it clean against Sasuke's torn clothes. No loose ends, Naruto muttered, practical, cold, because even now he was thinking ahead. I know, Naruto added dryly. I'm an asshole. A pause, but you already said that. Sasuke trembled, blind, broken. Don't worry, Naruto continued, his tone almost casual. You won't be alone for long. A beat, Hinata will follow. Silence, and that son you're so proud of. That did it. Sasuke froze. How do you know about him? Naruto turned away. I know more than you could ever imagine. The helmet sealed over his face with a soft mechanical hiss. And now, a step forward. You're irrelevant. Come back, Sasuke roared, desperation, fear, real, come back. But Naruto didn't stop, didn't turn, didn't even hesitate, and just like that, he was gone, leaving Sasuke alone, bleeding, blind, waiting for something that would never come. 2 weeks later. The cave was quiet, too quiet. Naruto stood at its entrance, watching, measuring inside. A man sat in the shadows, tense, alert, ready to kill. Or run. You've been following me, the man said. Naruto stepped forward. No. A pause. I came to find you. The man's eyes narrowed. Then you're either stupid, a shift in posture, or suicidal. Naruto didn't react. Instead, he spoke one word, Jinchuriki. Silence, heavy, dangerous. Who told you that? The man demanded. Naruto met his gaze. No one. A pause. I am one. That changed everything, not trust, but something close, understanding. The tension didn't disappear, but it shifted. Naruto Uzumaki, the man said slowly. Recognition, from the bingo book, from whispered warnings. Naruto nodded once. That's right. A long silence followed, then, "Why are you here?" Naruto stepped closer, because I know what it's like. A pause to be hunted, another to be used. His voice dropped to be nothing more than a weapon. The man's expression tightened, then you know I don't trust easily. Naruto gave a small nod, "You shouldn't. Honest, but I'm not here to capture you. A beat, I'm here to give you a choice." That word lingered, choice, something neither of them had ever truly had. What kind of choice? Naruto turned slightly, "Come with me." A pause or keep running. Silence, and if I refuse? Naruto shrugged lightly. Then you keep surviving. A beat until you don't. No threat, just truth, and that made it heavier than any threat ever could. "Where would I go?" the man asked. Naruto's eyes darkened slightly. "A place where no one can find you." A pause, "A place where you're not a weapon." Another, "A place where you decide what you are." The man studied him long, hard, then finally. "Fine." Naruto didn't smile, didn't celebrate, he simply turned. "Follow me." New Angel City. The airship descended, silently, smooth, and when the doors opened, the world changed. The man stepped out and froze. Buildings, lights, technology beyond imagination, a city that shouldn't exist. What is this? Naruto walked past him. "My home." A pause, "And yours if you want it." Oh, later. The pod closed, darkness, then light and knowledge began to flood in, elsewhere. The ocean stretched endlessly, and through it, Naruto moved alone this time. Not as a savior, but as something else, something calculated, something dangerous, his destination. Mai Tarumi. The rebels found him first, weapons drawn, chakra ready. "State your name and purpose." Naruto raised his hand slightly, calm. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki." Helmets off, faces revealed, shock rippled through them. They knew that name, and "I need to speak to your leader." Tension tightened. "What message?" the archer demanded. Naruto shook his head. "Only she can hear it." A long stare followed, testing, measuring, then a signal, subtle, hidden, a tranquilizer. Naruto felt it, ignored it, and kept walking. That alone changed everything. Then he threw his knife, not as an attack, but as surrender, a statement. "I'm not your enemy." The air shifted, weapons lowered. Just slightly enough, and soon he stood before the tent, before power, before decision. Naruto stepped inside, and there she waited, Mai Tarumi, beside her. Oh. Naruto's gaze lingered for just a second. Then he stepped forward, because this was no longer about survival. This was the beginning of something much bigger. The air inside the tent didn't move. Not a single breath felt natural anymore. Naruto stood there, calm, composed, as if he wasn't standing in front of a future cage, with enemies surrounding him just beyond cloth and shadows. "So," Terumi leaned back slightly, her eyes sharp, calculating. "You're the one Konoha placed such a high bounty on." Naruto shrugged, apparently. A pause. "I haven't really been keeping track." That alone irritated her. Confidence like that didn't belong to someone being hunted. Before he could continue, her tone hardened. "Give me one reason." Her gaze locked onto him. "Why I shouldn't have you captured and delivered to Konoha." Silence heavy. Naruto didn't flinch. Instead, he placed his helmet gently on the table. "Because," he said calmly, "that would be a mistake you wouldn't survive." A shift, tension snapped tighter. Ao stepped forward, eyes narrowing. "Careful, boy, that sounds like a threat." Naruto shook his head. "No." A pause. "It's a warning." "Oh, then." He dropped the truth. "I'm the Nine Tails Jinchuriki." Silence, real silence, the kind that suffocates. "That," Naruto continued, "is why the bounty is so high." He leaned forward slightly. "And if you return me?" His voice lowered. "You won't live long enough to collect it." Mei's eyes sharpened. "Explain." Naruto didn't hesitate. "Konoha is preparing for war." A beat, they've been planning it for years. Another, and right now. They're not ready. Ao frowned, and you know this how. Naruto's lips curved slightly. I pay attention to things that matter. Then, he shifted the conversation. If you return me, they win faster. A pause, they control me. Another, and they use me. His voice dropped. Cold to destroy you. That landed hard. May's fingers tapped once against the table. Slow, measured, you're saying. They would kill my people anyway. Naruto nodded, yes. Even the ones who bring me back. A flicker of anger passed through her eyes, because that was believable, too believable. Continue, she said quietly. Naruto exhaled once, then. He moved, two objects appeared in his hands. One, a small device, the other, a metallic scroll. Before either could react, he activated the first. A dome of energy snapped into existence, encasing them. What is this? May snapped, rising instantly. Privacy, Naruto replied calmly. No interruptions. Her eyes stayed on him. Sharp, but she sat slowly. Then, the second device unfolded. Light, projection. A three-dimensional display bloomed into existence. Floating, alive, Ao's expression shifted. What is that? Information, Naruto said. He moved his hand. And the images shifted, fluid, controlled. This isn't jutsu. It's technology. That word lingered, unfamiliar, dangerous. Naruto's eyes darkened slightly, and it's why I'm here. He swiped again, maps, movements, troop positions, then. Ships, dozens of them, were ready, docked, waiting. This, Naruto said quietly, is Konoha's naval force. The temperature in the room dropped. They're preparing to invade. May's jaw tightened. When? After your civil war ends. A pause when you're weak. Silence, you're telling me. Her voice lowered. Dangerous, they're manipulating both sides. Naruto nodded, yes. Your forces, and the Mizukage. Both compromised. Ao slammed his hand against the table. Who? Naruto didn't answer immediately. Instead, he met May's eyes. They work for Konoha. That was enough. Rage simmered beneath her calm, controlled. But barely, and you came here to warn us. Naruto nodded, yes. A pause, because I don't like watching people get played. That wasn't entirely truth, but it wasn't a lie either. And what do you want in return? May asked. There it was, the real question. Naruto leaned back slightly. I offer you an alternative. A beat, one where you win. Without losing everything. Silence, I'm listening. Naruto smiled faintly. I lead a force. Hidden, growing, the militia. Another swipe. Another projection, weapons, machines, power, join me. Ao scoffed, and why would we do that? Naruto didn't even look at him, because Konoha will fight your enemies for you. A pause, and when they're done, his voice dropped. Cold, we erase them. That changed everything. You're planning to let them win? May asked. Naruto nodded, yes. Let them believe they've conquered everything. A beat, then destroy them. A long silence followed, heavy, calculated. And what do we get? She asked finally. Naruto answered without hesitation, you're home. A pause, restored. Untouched. Another, no occupation. No control. We don't conquer. We rebelled. That was the difference, and if your force is so powerful. Ao narrowed his eyes. Why not do it yourself? Naruto's answer was immediate. Because we don't have the numbers. Honest, simple, dangerous, we're building. Slowly, carefully, until the moment comes. May studied him long, deep. Look me in the eyes, she said, and he did. Tell me. We get everything back. No hesitation, I promise. And for the first time. She believed him, not fully, but enough. I want to trust you, she admitted quietly, but this isn't a small decision. Naruto sighed softly. I figured. A beat, so. He reached into his gear. I brought something else. That was the moment everything changed. A small object, black blue lined, flew across the table straight toward Ao. It stuck to his chest. A second of confusion, then light and pain. Electricity exploded through his body. Ao screamed, then dropped unconscious. Silence, absolute. May stood slowly, eyes wide, fury rising. What did you just do? Naruto didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't apologize. Instead, he met her gaze, cold, focused. I removed a variable. A pause now. His voice lowered. We can talk honestly. What have you done? May Terumi's voice cracked through the tent like thunder. She was already on her feet, chakra rising, eyes burning with fury. You killed my second in command. On the ground, Ao lay motionless, smoke still faintly rising from his armor. Naruto didn't move, didn't react, didn't even look down. No, he said calmly, I didn't. A pause. That was an arc grenade. He gestured lightly, non-lethal. Another pause, mostly. May's fists tightened. Then why? She demanded. Naruto finally moved, not toward her, but toward the device. Because, he said quietly, I needed you to see the truth. He opened the folder and everything changed. The illusion shattered. Names, faces, voices projected into the air. Floating. Unavoidable conversations, hidden meetings, deals, betrayals, every single one. Recorded, proven, undeniable. May's eyes scanned the data once, twice, then again, faster, sharper. Her breathing slowed, but her heart raced. No. A whisper, not denial, but realization, some of them. She expected shady, unstable, too quiet, too eager, but others. Loyal, trusted, close, too close. Her hand trembled. Just slightly. As the final file opened, in there was him, Ao. Orders clear, cold, absolute. Eliminate May Terumi once victory is secured. Silence, the kind that suffocates. Naruto didn't speak, didn't interrupt. He let it sink in because he knew. This moment was everything. They were going to let you win, Naruto said softly. A pause, then kill you. Another, and while you tried to rebuild. His voice turned colder. Konoha would invade. Images shifted again. Ships, troops, bloodline targets, captured civilians, breeding programs, control, total, absolute. They don't want allies, Naruto said. They want ownership. May's eyes closed tightly, her jaw clenched. So hard it hurt because this wasn't strategy anymore. This was extermination, and they promised them survival, she said quietly. Naruto nodded. Yes. A lie. A beat. But a convincing one. Silence stretched, heavy, then. She opened her eyes and they were different, not uncertain, not conflicted, resolved. If this is true. Her voice was low, controlled. Then this war. A pause was never ours to begin with. Naruto didn't respond. He didn't need to, because she already understood the decision. You said your force is called the militia. Naruto nodded, yes. And you've been watching all of this. For years. Yes. Another pause, and you're offering us a way out. Naruto leaned forward slightly, a way to win. That word mattered. Win, not survive, not endure. Win. May stared at him long, hard, then. She exhaled slowly. You've already changed the board. A faint, bitter smile. Taking Ao out like that. Naruto didn't deny it. I removed the knife at your back. A beat before it could be used. Silence then. She stepped forward slowly, deliberately, and extended her hand. If what you've shown me is true. Her voice steadied. Then we were never fighting a civil war. A pause. We were being prepared for slaughter. Naruto took her hand, firm, certain, no more. Their grip tightened, and in that moment, something shifted, not just between them, but in the world itself, because this was no longer a hidden plan. This was the beginning of a force, one that didn't belong to any village, any nation, any system, the militia. had just grown in Konoha. Didn't even know it yet.
Konoha thought they were playing chess, but Naruto just flipped the entire board. A hidden empire, a broken world, and on aliens no one can coming. Kiryu was not fighting a civil war. They were being prepared for annihilation. And Naruto, he did not just want them, he took control. Now the military is growing, strongest, smarter, hidden. And when Konoha finally makes it move, well, they realize too late. They were never the hunters, but they prey. So tell me, what the war finally begins? What do you think will first fast? Konoha or the entire Shinobi world?
Chapter 4. Time didn't slow, it sharpened, because the moment May made her decision. The world had already begun to shift, not loudly, not violently, but quietly. Like a blade sliding into place, and now. Naruto watched. He sat atop a jagged stone, arms resting loosely on his knees, eyes calm, unreadable, below him. Hundreds gathered, rebels, warriors, survivors, all answering the call of one woman, Mai Terumi. She stood at the center, unshaken but different because now she knew a knowledge like that changed everything. Everyone listened carefully. May's voice cut through the crowd, firm, controlled. Step forward when your name is called. One by one. Names echoed, and one by one. They stepped forward, confused, some annoyed. Some cautious, none. Aware, yet Naruto didn't move, didn't interfere, because this was her moment, not his. More names, more faces. Then silence, a snap, and everything changed. Steel flashed, shadows moved, and in an instant the chosen were restrained, pinned, forced to their knees. What is this? One of them shouted. Have you lost your mind? May stepped forward, slow, deliberate. It has come to my attention. Her voice dropped, dangerously low, that you are all traitors. The air froze, denial came fast, loud, desperate. You're insane. We've done nothing. You're making a mistake. Naruto closed his eyes briefly, predictable, always one woman. Young, stepped forward as much as her restraints allowed. We don't know what you're talking about. She didn't finish because May moved, fast, a hand. Around her throat lifted, struggle, panic, a sharp crack, silence. Her body dropped, lifeless, no hesitation, no regret. There is no point in lying, May said coldly. I already know the truth. That broke them, not all but enough. One man spat, you stupid bitch. Hatred raw, unfiltered. I hope Konoha tears you apart. He didn't finish because Naruto moved, faster than thought. His hand caught May's wrist. Mid-strike, the kunai stopped. Just inches from the man's skull. What are you doing? May snapped. Naruto's voice was calm, too calm. You're ending it too quickly. A pause. I have a better way. That caught her attention slowly. She lowered the blade. Go on. Oh. Naruto smirked faintly. Then he drew it, a weapon unfamiliar, foreign, deadly. He held it out. Grip first. Use this. May took it carefully, eyes narrowing. What is this? A gun. Simple but effective. Naruto stepped behind the traitor, forced his head back, exposed the neck. Aim here. His finger tapped the exact spot. Pull the trigger. A pause and watch. May studied the weapon, curious, cautious. Then she aimed, pulled, bang. The sound shattered the silence. The man's throat exploded, blood sprayed. Hot, violent, unstoppable, he collapsed. Gasping, choking, dying slowly, painfully. May stepped back. Just slightly, not from fear but surprise. So the stories were true, someone whispered. Naruto chuckled softly. This. A glance at the weapon. This is basic. A beat, you haven't seen anything yet. May's lips curled slowly, darkly. Good. She raised the weapon again. Hold them. And one by one. They were forced down, exposed, helpless, and one by one. She pulled the trigger, bang, 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 each shot. Precise, each death. Deliberate, not mercy, not justice, but a message. The gun clicked empty. Naruto stepped forward, reloaded, spun the chamber, handed it back again and again. 30 minutes, that's all it took for betrayal. To be erased, bodies littered the ground, some still twitching, most. Still, Naruto looked at her. Feel better. May exhaled slowly, not yet. She gestured and they brought him out. Ow. Still unconscious, still breathing, still. A traitor, May's expression twisted, disgust. Pure to think I trusted him. Naruto's voice dropped slightly. I know the feeling. A flicker of memory. Gone just as fast, May didn't notice. Her eyes stayed locked on Ao. Do you have something stronger? A pause I don't want to face left. Naruto chuckled, low, dangerous, actually. He reached back and pulled out another weapon, heavier, wider, more brutal. He handed it to her. This will do. She took it, felt the weight, understood. Without explanation, shame he's unconscious, she muttered. Naruto tilted his head slightly. Why? Her eyes darkened, a traitor should feel it. Naruto smiled faintly, cold, calculating, then wake him up. Silence fell again, but this time. It wasn't uncertainty, it was anticipation, because this was no longer a rebellion. No longer a survival, this was the birth of something far worse, something Konoha would never see coming. Silence lingered, heavy, thick with blood, and something darker. Something irreversible. Naruto didn't waste it. Well. His voice cut through the stillness, luckily for you. A faint smirk. I have a way to wake him up. The weapon slid into his hand, a compact rod, crackling, alive with energy, without hesitation. He drove it forward straight into Ao's chest. The reaction was instant. A scream tore out of him. Raw, uncontrolled, his body convulsed. Muscles seizing. Nerves igniting, electricity surged. Not enough to kill, just enough. To hurt a lot. May's eyes flicked toward Naruto, a single look, sharp, questioning, really. Naruto didn't answer, he didn't need to. Ao collapsed forward. Gasping, alive, barely. Well, good morning, Naruto said lightly. Rise and shine. Ao's head snapped up, rage filled his expression. What did you do to me? He tried to stand. Failed, his body betrayed him, weak, unresponsive. Naruto tilted his head slightly. I think. A pause. You're asking the wrong question. He stepped aside and the world narrowed. To one person, May Terumi. She stepped forward, slow, controlled, but her eyes burned. Before I kill you. Her voice was steady, too steady. I want to know why. A pause. Why did you betray Kiri? Ao laughed, not nervously, not fearfully, but openly, mockingly. You really want to know? His grin twisted. Ugly. Kiri is already dead. The words hit like a blade. This war. A joke. A slow death. He leaned forward slightly. Despite the pain, no matter who wins. Everything collapses. A breath, either weak leadership or madness. Another, genocide continues. Silence either way. His eyes locked onto hers. You lose. A beat. I chose to survive. Another, guess I failed that too. He smirked. You wake. Bang, the sound erased everything. The world froze and Ao stopped existing, the front of his skull. Gone, erased, nothing left but ruin. May lowered the weapon slowly, smoke rising, her voice came. Cold. I asked for a reason. A pause, not a speech. She turned and shoved the weapon back into Naruto's chest. Hard, he caught it easily, no reaction, because this was expected. We're leaving, May said, no hesitation. No doubt, pack everything. The command spread instantly, like fire, orders echoed, movement began, shinobi scattered. Executing, eliminating, relocating, war had changed direction and everyone felt it. May walked past them all. Back into the tent just for a moment, just to breathe, because even iron needed a second. 1 year later. The world had changed, quietly but completely. What was once rebellion had become something else, something organized, something dangerous, the militia, and now it had grown massively, the forces of Kiri. Integrated, trained, reforged, what once fought with chakra now wielded something more, something beyond. Airships filled the skies. Massive, silent, invisible to the world below, they came in waves. Carrying soldiers, families, survivors. All toward one destination, a city that shouldn't exist, a city hidden from the world, New Angel City, when the doors opened. They saw it and they stopped, buildings that touched the sky, lights without flame, machines without chakra, a future. They didn't understand, yet they were greeted by familiar faces, by allies and by power. BT stood tall, silent, watching beside him. Another titan chosen by royalty, Kyuki Kazuhana's monarch, both saluted, not out of protocol, but respect. Naruto stepped forward, and the city moved with him. Learning pods activated, doors opened, and once again, the transformation began. People entered, one by one, and emerged. Different, stronger, smarter, deadlier. Months passed, then more, training intensified. Simulations broke them, then rebuilt them. Many tried, few succeeded, because not everyone could rise that high, but some did, and among them, two stood out. Kyuki, already proven, and now she chose her titan without hesitation. Scorch, fire, destruction, thermite. Naruto laughed when he saw it, not mockingly but knowingly. Of course you did. Because it fit perfectly, a queen of lava, commanding a titan of flame, and as she stood within it, power humming around her, one truth became clear: this wasn't preparation anymore, this wasn't survival, this was evolution. And when the war finally came, the world wouldn't recognize what it had created. Time moved, but not the same way for everyone, for the world. It crept forward, blind, unaware. But for Naruto, for the militia, time sharpened like a blade, refined, prepared, waiting to fall. And among those blades, one stood apart, Yudakata. Silent, precise, deadly. He wasn't just another soldier, he was perfection at a distance, patience unmatched, hands steady beyond human limits, the kind of man who could wait hours for a single shot and never miss. In the simulators, he was legend, the longest recorded kill, a distance others couldn't even comprehend. He made it routine, broken once by persistence, reclaimed instantly by skill. He piloted a Tone Titan, a predator built for range, lock, mark, erase, before the enemy even realized they were already dead. And yet, despite everything, despite their power, their numbers, their evolution, Naruto didn't move, not yet. Because he understood something others didn't. Victory wasn't about winning a battle, it was about ending the war completely. If they struck now, some would escape, hide, regrow, and strike back later. And Naruto didn't believe in later, so he waited and trained relentlessly. Simulations ran day and night, battles against each other, against machines, against replicas of Konoha's strongest, again and again and again, and every time they won. Cleaner, faster, deadlier, minimal losses, maximum destruction, technology outclassed chakra. But Naruto wasn't blind. Konoha was evolving too. Stolen tech, improved armor, air superiority, unknown variables, and unknown variables got people killed, so he adapted constantly. At one point, he considered something dangerous: factories, machines, an army that never tired. BRD-01 specters, endless soldiers, disposable, replaceable, efficient. But he stopped because history taught him something. They were weak, cannon fodder, and worse. They could be controlled, hacked, turned, and Naruto refused to build an army that could betray him, even if the world didn't yet have the means. One day, it might, and Naruto planned for that day, always. Meanwhile, the world burned exactly as expected. Konoha moved, their grand plan unfolding. Carry. The target weakened, broken, ready to fall, or at least that's what they believed, until reality hit hard when they arrived. They didn't find weakness, they found war, full strength, prepared, waiting. The clash was brutal, violent, unforgiving. Konoha still won. Barely. But the cost was wrong, too high, too costly. Names fell: Asuma Sarutobi gone, Konohamaru Sarutobi Gone, teams shattered, families broken, and confusion spread because something didn't add up. The rebels were gone, not dead, not captured, gone like ghosts, no traces, no sightings, no answers. The conclusion: they fled west, beyond known lands, a theory born from desperation, accepted because there was nothing else. Naruto watched it all from above, from beyond, and he smiled because everything was working exactly as planned. But the moment that pleased him most was quieter, more personal. He heard it through intercepted signals, through unseen eyes. The news: Sasuke dead, declared a hero, a lie wrapped in honor, delivered to Hinata Hyuga. She broke, grief, pain, tears, all of it real, all of it meaningless, because she didn't know how he died, who ended him, or why. And when she finally stood again, she chose strength, training her son, preparing him so he wouldn't fall the same way. Naruto's smile deepened because she was wrong, completely. They would all fall, soon, back in New Angel City. Naruto wasn't alone anymore. The war room had changed, filled with minds, strategists, observers, analysts, eyes across the world, every movement tracked, every whisper heard, every plan stolen and refined. Konoha grew stronger, faster, better chakra armor, improved airships, expanded war. Imminent, the final phase. Approaching, Naruto stood still, watching, calculating, waiting. Then he made a decision, a small one but critical. Send him in. Moments later, the door opened and Utakata stepped inside, calm, composed, ready. You called me, Commander. The room dimmed slightly, holograms flickered to life, maps, movements, targets, everything laid bare. Naruto turned slowly, eyes sharp, focused. This mission. A pause changes everything. Silence fell heavy, final, because what came next wouldn't just weaken Konoha, it would begin their end. Silence lingered in the war room, not the peaceful kind, the kind that came before something broke. Naruto stood still, unmoving, unshaken, and yet everything around him was already in motion. You called me, Commander. The voice belonged to Utakata. Calm, steady, but beneath it, attention, because he knew this wasn't routine. Naruto didn't look at him immediately. Instead, he let the moment breathe. Then, quietly, he spoke. Indeed I did. 6. The name stuck, a code name, a symbol, a number that carried power. 6 tails, 6 paths of destruction, and Utakata accepted it without question, because titles didn't matter, purpose did. And Naruto, he was no longer just Naruto, he was Commander, not by claim but by proof. The holograms flickered, a map of the elemental nations, spread wide, alive, moving, war visualized. So, 6 said, lighting a cigarette with a soft flick. What's the situation? Smoke curled upward, lazy, deceptively calm. Naruto raised a hand, the map shifted, highlighted, marked. Konoha has begun. A pause, they've made their first real move. 6 frowned slightly. Wasn't Kiri the beginning? Naruto exhaled slowly, not to me. His voice hardened. That wasn't war. It was slaughter. Manipulation. Execution. Another pause. This. The map zoomed in, 2 points lit up. This is war. 6 leaned forward slightly, eyes sharp now, focused. Where? Naruto didn't hesitate. Suna. A beat, and the second point pulsed. Wave country. 6 blinked, confusion cutting through his calm. Wave. Why attack their own ally? Naruto smiled, but there was no warmth in it, because Konoha doesn't believe in allies. His voice dropped, cold. They believe in control. Obedience. Ownership. They don't want allies. A pause. They want slaves. 6 let out a slow breath, smoke drifting sideways. I really can't wait to destroy them. Naruto chuckled softly. Soon. Not yet. He stepped forward, the map shifted again. Now. Movement, troop paths, projected outcomes. They're splitting their forces. A large army to Suna. A smaller unit to Wave. 6 narrowed his eyes, tactically risky. Unless. Naruto nodded, they expect no resistance. which makes them careless. And that his eyes sharpened is where we come in. Six straightened slightly, the shift was immediate, from observer to weapon. What's the plan? Naruto raised two fingers, two squads. Small, fast, precise. No more than 12 each. The map split, two missions, two fates. I take wave. A pause, you take Suna. Six side, of course, the desert. I hate sand. Naruto smirked, I know. But you're the best shot we have. The hologram changed, now. A projection, Konoha forces entering Suna. Victory, then. Chains, prisoners, transport. Six's eyes darkened. They're taking survivors. Naruto nodded, reprogramming them. Breaking them. Turning them into tools. The image shifted again, a single figure, Gaara. Bound, contained, isolated, the one tail. Naruto's voice dropped. They won't kill him. They'll store him. Until they find someone easier to control. Six clenched his jaw, so what do you want me to do? Naruto turned fully now, facing him, eyes locked, sharp, unforgiving, simple. A pause, you don't fight the army. You don't engage directly. You don't get seen. Oh. The room dimmed slightly, as if even the walls were listening. You wait. Another pause until they win. Six's eyes narrowed, then. Understanding hit, slow, heavy. You want me to hit them after. Naruto smiled now. There was something dangerous in it, exactly. They'll be tired, overconfident, carrying prisoners, unprepared. A beat and then. His voice dropped to a whisper, you start picking them off. Silence, thick, cold, final, because this wasn't a battle, it was execution, calculated, precise, inevitable. Six took one last drag, then crushed the cigarette. How many? Naruto didn't hesitate, as many as it takes. A pause, but priority. His eyes locked onto the image of Gaara. Make sure the Jinchuriki doesn't reach Konoha. Oh. Six nodded once, no hesitation, no doubt. Understood, Commander. Naruto turned back to the map, watching the red markers move, closer, closer to destruction, and this time. He wasn't watching from the shadows, he was guiding it, shaping it, controlling it, because the war had already begun. Konoha just didn't realize. They had already lost, the war had already begun, not loudly, not openly, but in shadows. In silence. In calculated strikes that no one would ever trace, and at the center of it all. Naruto stood still, watching, planning, hunting. You're still thinking about her. The voice was quiet, but it cut deep. Utakata didn't need to ask twice about Fu. Naruto didn't deny it, he never would. Yes. Just one word, but it carried weight, pain, rage. And something darker. Helplessness, Fu. Another victim, another life twisted. Broken. Destroyed not by enemies, but by her own world. A village that rejected her, a people that feared her, men who saw her. Not as human, but as a tool, a weapon, a womb, and when Konoha took her. They didn't save her, they buried her, deep, locked, sealed, a prison beneath a prison, a cage. Even Naruto couldn't break, not yet, I understand. Six's voice softened because he did more than most. They had all lost something, but this. This wasn't just loss, it was unfinished. Naruto turned back to the hologram, eyes cold again, focused, mission first, always. You take the best riflemen we have. Follow Konoha's unit leaving Suna. Wait until night. Then eliminate them. Then pause. The desert will take care of the rest. Bodies lost, tracks erased, history rewritten. Six nodded slowly, and Konoha. Naruto smirked, they'll assume they disappeared. Just like Kiri. Perfect, clean, invisible. When do I move? Naruto didn't hesitate. Tonight. The hologram shifted, live feed, Suna. Burning, already falling, too late to save, but not too late. To strike, I'm heading to wave now. Naruto's voice hardened, they're slower there. Weaker defenses, but more vulnerable. Six turned, already moving. Understood, Commander. And just like that, he was gone, another blade. Sent into the dark, Naruto remained, alone, watching. The feed shifted again. Wave country, the bridge, the one they built. For him, for what he once was. He exhaled slowly. They trusted the wrong people. A flick of his hand. The screen vanished. He picked up his helmet, held it for a moment, then smiled. Last time. He came as a boy, unprepared, outmatched, lucky this time. He came as something else, prepared, armed, unstoppable. The helmet sealed. The world went dark. Then alive again. Through a machine's eyes. Let's see how they thank me this time. Later that day, Wave Country. They didn't come from the front. They didn't come from the sky. They came from below, like ghosts clinging to the underside of the bridge, silent, invisible. The ocean masked their presence, each step swallowed by crashing waves. Naruto raised his hand. Stop. Instant obedience. A blade appeared in his grip, a pulse blade, driven upward. The pulse, invisible, spread outward then. The world lit up. Enemy positions, marked 4, guarding the exit, careless, confident, dead. 2 shadows moved, up over 3. 2, 1. Silence, shots, clean, precise, bodies dropped. Before they even understood, signal received, clear. The team moved, up, over, execution continued. Bodies dragged, thrown, gone, erased by the sea. Naruto split them, left, right, sweep the village. No witnesses, no resistance. Cloaks activated, reality bent, they vanished. Naruto moved alone, upward, grappling hook. Silent, efficient, he reached the rooftops. Watched, observed, analyzed. There they were, the prisoners, caged, marked, sealed, explosive tags. Embedded near their hearts, one step wrong. And they'd die. No brute force, no chaos. Precision only. Naruto scanned the enemy, faces blurred. Except one he knew too well, Anko Mitarashi. The moment he saw her, something inside him snapped. Memories, pain, screams, torture, endless, unforgiving. She enjoyed it, every second. Naruto's grip tightened. Perfect. Another pulse blade, scan confirmed, targets locked. He dropped, silently, into the alley, one man. Unaware, knife flashed, throat opened, blood spilled, body kicked forward, and the world paused just for a second. Confusion, shock, fear, that was all he needed. Weapon drawn, smart pistol MK6. Locks engaged, targets acquired, fire 1, 2, 3, 4. Head snapped back, bodies dropped, no missed shots, no wasted motion. Panic erupted, too late. 24 rounds, 24 kills, but not enough. Ammo empty, weapon sealed, enemies charging, desperate, foolish. A kunai struck. And bounced, useless. Naruto drew again, Bay 3 wingman elite. 3 shots, 3 deaths, point blank, brutal, efficient, and still. He wasn't done because one target remained, standing, watching, smiling, Anko, and this time. There would be no escape. The silence didn't last. It never did, because pain always demanded an answer, and Naruto had come to deliver it. The final shot didn't fire. A hollow click echoed, empty, for a split second. Relief flashed across the last shinobi's face. Then steel replaced sound, a blade, fast, precise, final. The knife drove deep into his neck, blood spilled, hope died. Naruto didn't even look at the body. He was already moving, reloading, efficient, mechanical. Sloppy. A quiet mutter, a mistake, his mistake, and he hated it because commanders didn't make mistakes. They erased them, then. His eyes lifted, locked on her, Anko Mitarashi. The past standing right in front of him. Well, if it is Konoha's favorite little monster. His voice was calm, too calm, snake whore. Her expression twisted instantly. Shock, anger, confusion. Who the hell are you? Naruto laughed, low, mocking. After everything we've been through. You don't remember me. She frowned, searching, failing. Naruto sighed, then pressed his helmet. The mask lifted, revealing his face and everything. Collect you. Her voice dropped, recognition, realization, fear, yeah. Naruto smiled, but there was nothing human in it. Me. Oh. Her lips curled into a smirk, reflex, cruel, familiar. Oh, this is perfect. I can't wait to see what intelligence pulls out of your head. A pause and maybe I'll get to play with you again. Naruto didn't react, didn't flinch, didn't blink. I'm sure you'd enjoy that. His voice dropped cold, but that would require you. A step forward to actually win. She scoffed, but her eyes shifted, scanning, calculating, looking for an opening, and she found one behind him, a survivor, silent, creeping closer. Naruto didn't move, didn't turn, didn't acknowledge it, because he didn't need to. A single shot rang out, sharp, precise. The man dropped. Before he even understood why, Anko froze completely. What the hell? Naruto chuckled, soft, dangerous. You were saying. Oh, that's when it hit her. This wasn't a fight. This was a trap, and she was already inside it. Desperation took over. Blood, seal, impact, smoke exploded across the battlefield, and when it cleared, something massive remained, a serpent towering, coiled, monstrous. Anko stood atop it, confidence restored, barely. Let's see how you handle this. Naruto looked up, unimpressed, cute. He holstered his weapon, calm, deliberate, then activated, space warped, reality bent, and something else arrived. BT 7274. Massive, armored, unstoppable, it materialized beside him. Kneeling, waiting, Naruto moved instantly, seamless, effortless, inside, connected, complete, BT. His voice echoed inside the machine. You're late. I arrived within optimal parameters, pilot Naruto. Oh, a pause, fair enough. The Titan rose, blade drawn, shotgun ready. Anko's confidence cracked just a little, but enough. Kill him. The snake obeyed, massive coils wrapped around BT. Crushing, constriction tightening, pressure building. Naruto didn't panic, didn't struggle, didn't react. He waited, then activated electric smoke. The world exploded in blue arcs of energy. The snake screamed, convulsing, muscles failing, control breaking. BT vanished, phase dash, reappeared. Outside, blade swung, steel met flesh, cut deep but not enough. The serpent retaliated, venom. Spat violently, corrosive, deadly. It hit and did nothing. Naruto exhaled slowly, predictable. No more games. Energy surged through the blade, arc wave. The ground shattered. Electricity tearing forward. The snake couldn't dodge, too big, too slow. Impact, paralysis, again this time. Naruto didn't hesitate, blade reversed, driven downward through skull, pinned, shotgun raised, point blank, fire the head. Ceased to exist, silence, total, absolute. The battlefield was over, again. Only one remained. Naruto turned, slowly, deliberately, looking directly at Anko Mitarashi. Fear had finally reached her eyes, real, undeniable. Naruto reached to the side, pulled something from the compartment, carefully, almost reverently. This. His voice dropped, is something special. A device, small, strange, unfamiliar, years of work, pain, obsession, all inside it, and now he was going to test it on her. The moment didn't break. It shifted because Naruto wasn't done, not even close. The Titan behind him, BT 7274, lowered itself once more, hatch opening, waiting. Naruto stepped forward, then out, calm, controlled, but something had changed on his arm. Another device, locked, activated, not a weapon, not exactly, something worse. He walked toward Anko Mitarashi. And for the first time, she didn't smile, she didn't taunt, she didn't move, because now she understood this wasn't a fight, this was judgment. So now Naruto's voice was quiet, dead quiet. It's just you. Anko snarled, desperation exploding into rage. Her hands shot forward. Snakes burst from her sleeves, a storm of venom, a final gamble. Naruto didn't stop, didn't slow, didn't hesitate. He ran straight into it, then slid perfect under death itself. Anko's eyes widened. Too late, gunfire. 3 shots, precise, merciless, both arms. Gone, kneecap. Shattered, she collapsed, screaming, broken. Naruto stood over her, silent, watching. That was disappointing. She glared up at him, blood, pain, hatred still burning. Go to hell. She spat, I won't tell you anything. Naruto chuckled, soft, almost amused. I never asked you to. A step closer, I said. A pause, you will. Confusion flickered only for a second, then it appeared, a blade, but not steel, not chakra, digital, glowing, alive, before she could react. It moved upward through her jaw into her skull, her scream. Died halfway, then came the real horror. Electricity, violent, relentless, her body convulsed, but it wasn't pain. Not anymore, it was loss, memories. Ripped, torn, erased. Who she was, what she did, everything, fading her eyes. Went empty and then… She died not knowing her own name. Naruto stood still, silent, the device retracted, clean, precise, the skulljack, months of work, years of pain, a lifetime. Refined into a single purpose, truth, because lies. Didn't survive this, 5 minutes passed, inside his mind. Not silence, but information, memories replayed like a broken film, seals, commands, failsafes, and then… He found it, the key. Naruto exhaled, found you. The gate stood before him, steel, sealed, controlled, inside. Fear, hundreds waiting. Naruto raised his hand and began. 1 seal, 2, 10, 20, fast, perfect, not learned. Copied from her, the system cracked, then broke the lock. Shot open, freedom rushed forward. Big bro. The voice hit him. Harder than any attack, Inari. Ran straight into him. Naruto froze just for a second, then he placed a hand on the boy's head. Inari. The kid shook, not from fear but grief. They're gone. A whisper broken, Naruto's eyes darkened, but his voice stayed steady. It's all right. A lie but a necessary one. He tapped his comm. Voices answered, clear, all squads. Done, no survivors except… The ones that mattered. Naruto turned, facing the crowd. Hundreds of eyes, fear, hope, confusion, everyone. His voice carried, sharp, commanding, I need you to listen carefully. A pause, go to your homes. Take everything that matters. Anything. Memories. Belongings. Everything. Silence then. Movement because they understood. Even if he didn't say it, this wasn't rescue. This was evacuation. This was the end. Of their world and the beginning. Of his, Naruto turned away, looking at the burning remains of what used to be control, at the corpse. Of someone who once held power over him, and for a brief moment. He felt nothing, no anger, no satisfaction, just clarity. The war had already begun, and this time he wasn't surviving it, he was rewriting it. The sky hadn't stopped moving, that thing, whatever it was, still hung above them, watching, waiting, and yet… Naruto didn't move, didn't react, didn't acknowledge it, not yet, because there was something more important. Why should we gather our belongings? The voice cut through the tension, a villager not afraid, suspicious, others followed. Murmurs rising, agreement spreading, because even heroes couldn't ask for blind trust. Naruto exhaled slowly, then answered, simple. A pause, my plan is to evacuate all of you. Silence then, and once you're gone. His eyes lifted slightly, I destroy this village. Shock instant, explosive, what? Are you insane? Our homes, our lives are here. Naruto didn't flinch, didn't argue, didn't raise his voice, he simply spoke. Konoha will come back. And that was enough to quiet them, but next time, they won't fail. His tone hardened, cold, certain. They'll come with more soldiers. More control. And this time, they won't just enslave you. They'll strip everything you have. A pause, they'll use your lives to fund their war. Oh. Silence fell heavy, crushing. Naruto took one step forward, this way. They think you're dead. No survivors. No pursuit. His voice softened just slightly, and you keep what matters. No manipulation, no lies, just truth for a moment. No one moved, even Naruto wondered if they would choose memories over survival, then… A single step, a mother holding her child's hand, walking away, one choice, and that was all it took. Movement spread, slow at first. Then faster, then unstoppable. Doors opened, homes entered, lives gathered. Naruto turned away, watching his men regroup, one by one. They appeared silent, efficient, deadly, a dozen soldiers enough to erase an entire village of enemies, technology, power, evolution, minutes passed. Then, the villagers returned, bags, memories, fragments of a life they would never return to. Naruto opened comms, bring it in. The sky answered, a dropship descended, wind tore through the streets, dust rose, eyes widened because this was beyond anything they knew. The hatch opened, but Naruto raised a hand. Wait. His men moved to the center, and from the ship, they unloaded it, the payload, a bomb, placed where the cage once stood, where fear once lived. Now, it would end everything. The villagers boarded, slow, hesitant, each step. A goodbye. Naruto didn't rush them, didn't look away. He let them feel it, because this moment needed to hurt. Final checks, sweep complete. No one left behind. The detonator placed in his hand, Naruto stepped into the ship last. The hatch closed, the world below fading. 30 seconds, that's all it took. Naruto looked down at what used to be hope, and then he pressed the button. No sound, not from here, but far away. The world felt it, a flash, then nothing. Wave country was gone, erased. No village, no homes, no past, only ash, a necessary sacrifice to delay a monster inside the ship. Silence. Naruto stood still, watching, thinking Konoha would be slowed, resources gone, labor gone, time taken from them, and time was everything. But his mind shifted elsewhere, to another battlefield, to another mission, to one man, Utakata. Naruto smirked, you won't fail. But then, the smirk faded because something felt wrong. The ship trembled, slight, almost unnoticeable. Then, a shadow passed over them, massive. Naruto slowly looked up. The thing was still there, and now it was closer, much closer. BT. His voice dropped low, serious. Why is it following us? A pause, then. Unknown. The air inside the ship changed because for the first time, Naruto realized. This wasn't coincidence, this wasn't observation, this was pursuit. And then, the sky above them opened, not like clouds, like something was tearing it apart.
Naruto just erased an entire village to save it. Web, it's gone, reduced to nothing but ash just to keep Konoha blind. But that's not the scariest part, because something else is watching him, something not from this world, and now it's hunting him. So the real question is, if Naruto is not the only one evolving anymore, then what exactly just entered the battlefield? And is he still strongest force out there, or has something worse arrived? Stay with me, because chapter 4 is where everything changes.